Give us like 5-10 minutes, and I will share a story. Not from this last tournament though, but from someone else. And then we'll have a good chuckle, you know. All right.
That's a good chuckle.
Oh damn, we went straight into it on Twitch.
Oh yeah, the Twitch has like instantaneous latency. It's great.
Yeah.
But let's see. We have.
I was expecting an opening screen. I didn't expect to see all of our handsome faces.
Well, it's okay.
Ooh,
I can swap to the opening screen, but if you look at Twitch right now, it's my, it's like the stupid brick plus the spinning fish. So,
yeah, dude, the fish.
So it's not the same. You know what? Okay, people wanted the fish earlier. You know, we'll just put him. We'll just put him right down here.
It's like a fidget spinner for like ADHD people that can focus on while listening.
Hell yeah, dude. All right, so hello everybody. Welcome to today's stream. This is one of our lovely. I realize that the restream chat is covering. God damn it. Dude, I'm such a professional streamer. Like
yes.
you guys have no idea. Okay. Gonna make a few changes here real fast. Do that, and then
I was looking at my games, and I didn't put one of my opponent's armies in during scoring. So I don't know what I fought, and I forgot already.
You'll remember in a bit. There we go. Nice long chat. All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to our stream here. Whether you are joining us on Twitch or on YouTube, pleasure having you. I am Bricky. Joining me today is Demeki, Garrett, and Chris on camera for the first time, I think.
Yep, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, sorry. You know, you signed up for this. Though, granted, you've got one of the more hefty workshops comparatively to. You got a lot of crap back there.
A nice heat shed.
Granted, we can't see what's to the right of Demeki, so we don't know the other abomination. Yeah, you're right. Not yeah. The abomination.
That's my L-shaped desk that has like here.
But like all the there you go.
Look at all that. Look at all this. Look, there's my army down there on the floor.
That's a whole lot. But anywho, we are here to chat about our tournament recap, much like the last couple of times. All four of us played, and which we played is currently on the screen. I played Votann, Demeki played Death Guard, Garrett Daemons, and Chris played Custodes. So Chris, since you are our resident dice hammer gentleman and also judge, I suppose. What was the? You want to recap what the tournament was all about? The point of it, all you use.
Oh yeah, so the tournament was a fundraiser for Maui. So we kind of want to do. It was kind of more like a relaxed feel, and we only had 44 spots. So one of the rooms at the Irvine bowling alley, the main room. So it was just kind of more relaxed and fun, and for charity instead of super try hard. And I was a judge, but people already like yell for Nick, so I didn't have to answer any
I just
questions.
wanted Nick with his little wine glass coming over. It's like, yes, can I help you?
Yeah. The first couple times I did walk up to people yelling for Nick, and then I just stood there like, and then they didn't ask me anything, so I just walked away. I stopped doing that. I'm like, whatever, just figure it out.
Well, Nick wasn't playing, but you were playing though. Oh, he played anyone who
Nick was the ringer.
He was supposed to play, but he couldn't do the trim on his corn army fast enough. So he did, but he played I think 2 or 3 games. I think
he did.
And I feel bad for his ringer opponents, dude. It was 2 Lord of Skulls and World Eaters.
Yeah, it's a brutal list.
But okay, really awesome. and we raised like a bit over $1,000, was it, or
4,000? We raised 4,000 over the.
God damn, let's go! I didn't realize that much. Holy shit!
Yeah,
hell yeah. Yeah, and of course, you know, you, Dice Hammer, Nick, and Eric all are the main folks down in the SoCal region for well, SoCal region is not particularly specific. The Orange County. Group.
The Orange County GTs, yeah.
And this is Demeki and Garrett, how many Dice Hammer GTs have you gotten to? I've got it's like
first one.
Oh, it's your first one.
I've been mostly to the team tournaments.
Oh, right, okay. This is like my fifth or something. Like it's one of my main ones.
Yeah, I've only this is like my third tournament I've ever been to, like actually played in, outside of like frontline gaming stuff.
Okay. Oh, because you did the XPZ one, and what was the other one?
SoCal.
Oh,
SoCal was my first tournament I played in.
That's right. That's a good point. But anyway, so tournament's over. 5 games, thank God. 6 games I can't handle anymore. I don't know a single person who is mentally there on their 6th round.
Especially when you get to my age, it's just rough, dude. Rough.
Yeah.
It's what's it? 5 rounds is a really good amount. You've done it like 5 o'clock Sunday, get the rest of the night. It's perfect. I hope most tournaments do 5 rounds for the most part.
Yeah, and the cleanup is easy, and not at like 9 p.m. and I'm home by like 6. It's awesome.
Yeah. I didn't really think about the cleanup too. That's a good point.
Yeah.
But anyway, we all played all 5 rounds, and I thought we'd start off with armies. Let's Chris, you're the new resident. What'd you play?
All right, so I played Custodes. I was trying to get AdMech ready, but it's too many models, so I just ended up playing Custodes and getting as low model count list as I could ready. So it's 2 units of 5 wardens and Trajan and a blade wizard with a ceaseless hunter, so we can advance and charge and fall back, shoot, and charge every turn. And then I had 3 Armiger Moraxes, which I assembled and painted the week of, and practiced with them a little bit. And then there was Eisenhorny the Inquisitor, and 4 prosecutors. He just babysat them in the back, and then the Calidus assassin.
That's a list.
That's it. 23 models.
I'll ask later, but I'm curious on the Eisenhorn. So, but I'll ask more about that later on. Demeki. Death Guard.
Oh yeah. So it was pretty much the same list because I also ran into a model problem. The changes I wanted to make, I didn't have everything, or I needed to build and paint, and I didn't have the time because I was too busy working on somebody else's army at the time.
Oh, I understand. I understand that one.
Idea what you're talking about. I told you.
So the changes I did make, I did take out the Foul Blight spawns. I added in 2 Biologus Putrefiers. I took out 1 Malignant Plaguecaster, left 1 in. Ran Morty, ran 4 sets of Nurglings, which I didn't know were 3 units of 3 until like the day before. So I had to borrow 2 from Garrett because I only had 6 painted. I thought I had 9. So 4 things of Nurglings, Mortarion, 3 PBCs, 2 Rhinos, 20 Plague Marines, and 3 Foated Bloat Drones, 1 with the Flesh Mower, 2 with the gun.
I got pretty familiar with that list. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
Yeah. Garrett.
Yeah, I played some asshole on round 2.
Demons. I'm sure this will take you. Oh yeah, you had
just 430 points. I forgot about
the 2 Cladius tanks.
Yeah, they didn't work. They did, of course.
I completely forgot you had the Cladiuses also.
Yeah, that was something.
I'm
sure Demons.
It'll take you forever to explain this list, I'm sure.
Yeah. So I also too was like, I want to have a Monster Mash fun time. So I brought Bellicor, Kairos the Fate Weaver. I was gonna take Lord of Change because I built the model the week of, but then I was talking to a buddy in Hawaii, and he's like, "You want the CP and you want the Vect. It's good, and he has indirect, and it's like 2d3 indirect, 9 strength, so it's just good at popping elite infantry up the board." And I was like, okay. So I built Kairos. I took Shalaxi, Scarbrand. I took the Changeling, 5 Nurglings, Pinkor, and 2 Flamers.
I'm mad you didn't take Rotigus. You needed to collect your Pokemon of named greater demons.
I know. I already was hurting though on like people that can hold objectives well.
Yeah, that's pretty true. I
Hey,
do.
what did you learn about Nurglings during that?
Oh, bro, I'll talk about it when we get to our thing.
For myself, I ran dwarves, Votann. It was Call, Einhir Champion, Uthar, and Grimnir. 5 squads of Hearthkin warriors with Plasma Beamer and Magna Rail. 2 Sagittar, 2 Zerk, 1 Hammer, 1 Axe. 10 Einhir Hearthguard with the Dev Pistol. 2 Brokir Thunderkin, 1 Laser, 1 Graviton, and was that it?
You got the bikes. You said the bikes.
Oh, thank you. A squad of 6 bikes and a squad of
I
3
worked hard
bikes.
on those fucking bikes.
I
How
know
dare
you
you forget?
Dude,
I know
I
you
got-
did. I know.
I did 40 of your infantry.
I remember them.
They helped. I did stuff.
So the of course,
Dude, are you gonna put a full painted army on next tomorrow?
I'll be put a full battle ready army.
Cow!
Well, okay, I have many battle ready armies. I don't have very many like parade ready armies. But no, Votann for that, and yeah, that was the those are the 4 lists. How'd you guys feel about your lists?
Probably should have played it.
room for improvement.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't like Custodes right now, but they was pretty fun and fast to play. So what's
Well,
important.
Fast,
Oh,
certainly, yeah.
yo, fast to play is nice, right? Less time standing up.
Yep.
Yeah.
I feel like knights are pushed entirely for speed of game.
Shit.
I dig it. I would
Same,
play
same.
knights in a heartbeat. That's why Zach plays knights, because he's so damn tall. And like when you go to the events, the tables aren't meant for tall people.
Yeah,
So like he plays knights, so it's less models to move around. So
that's
makes
true.
sense.
What my demons list? I had to rethink my whole entire game plan at after turn 1 of my game, my first game, and then yeah, at the end of the tournament, I was like, okay, now it's kind of fun. So you'll hear a story for me.
There'll be a bit of a up and down. I hated my list. I hated it.
You hated it? Why?
I hated my list.
No, explain why. Because all the small infantry?
No, I'm not used to, or no, I got no issue with moving small infantry. I play guard and sisters. I am fine with that. No, it's just like
We broke you mentally there during that weekend. I feel like that's what happened.
it's just a crutch.
Yeah.
Like I hate why I did well. I despise why. And playing the army just sucked.
I just think it's when you were talking about it, I think it's just the play style you don't like a lot of, and like your model, like you could have a cool play style, but the play style that list is tailored around is something that you just seems like you didn't have fun with.
No, like I love my big swaths of infantry. I'm a huge fan of that. I used to run tons and tons of sisters infantry and stuff. It's just that it's not the same. The codex is, the index is dog water. It's terrible. But
they're like #1 faction right now
no.
in Meta Watch. Did you check the Meta Watch? They're like
MetaWatch
ahead of CSM.
includes practice games. It doesn't count. It's got too much of a casual stick to it. I'm pretty sure it's Meta Mondays. That's the real stuff.
Meta Mondays.
And isn't it like, I think like Votann's like a 53%. It's like good, but it's not. I think Eldar's still like 56, aren't they?
Yeah, in the
57
World
is probably-
Championship rankings, which are like more accurate because they're all like really good players, Eldar still 55% was #1
Yeah.
for sure.
Oh yeah. So yeah, I don't. It's like a massive 4-in-1 army, which is exactly what I went. So anyway, we'll get into it. First rounds. Who wants to go first?
All right, I'll go first.
All right.
All right. So I brought my demons list, and I was like, hell yeah, this is gonna be fun, monster mash shit. And I go up against Deathwatch. I'm like, it's not too bad. I don't even know what he brought. He brought like his little kill teams. He brought like a Judicator with Blade Guard vets, 10-man Termies. He brought like a Redemptor and a Blue Trouse Dreadnought.
Death
Uh,
Watch.
Yeah, Death Watch, right? And
Death Watch,
so
like real Death Watch, like running the
yeah,
index and everything. It's
yeah.
pretty cool.
And so yeah, no, he was a super cool guy too. I do my deployment, and this is I had Garrett brain is what I call it. Is I should have played my list and I should have double checked a single unit. So I deploy and somebody mentions Nurglings only have one OC, and I'm like,
No, they didn't say that.
they have 0 OC.
They have 0 OC.
Yeah, I mean zero OC. And I was like, fuck. And so my whole deployment was fucked. And my whole game strategy fucked. And I'm like, I don't know. I have 5 big models, Pink Horror, Changeling, and like 2 Flamers. And that's all the OC I have in this list. So it bruh. I was like, I don't even know how to do this now. So long story short, I started, usually you'll see a common theme. I started Scarred Friend and Shalaxi and Deep Strike, and kind of just, those are my arrows that I shoot into. I usually do like, I start Kairos in there to do like midfield shooting that needs to do midfield shooting, and then he can just drop corruptions essentially on the objectives to regain a CP back essentially. You're gonna start seeing a common play issue in my games for the first day, and it's called failing a 6-inch charge. So the game was actually insanely close. So the whole game was super close. We're trying to do it, and I'm trying to I felt like I was coming back from behind because I fucked up everything. So Be'lakor, nope, fucking Be'lakor is like, all right, we got a 10-man tourney. Let's go ahead and throw Be'lakor and Shalaxi 6 inches from him. All right. Be'lakor makes the charge. Shalaxi said, fuck you, Be'lakor! I'm gonna fail that! And Be'lakor goes into 10 termies and just gets fucking wiped.
Wait, he gets killed in the clapback?
Clapback hard. Just fucking neutered. And then Shalaxi sitting there by herself brings in the Adjudicator, and he brought in the Rapid Ingress Adjudicator with the 6 Blade Guard vest, and then just shoved him in Shalaxi, so she's just stuck there. She ends up surviving everything, and with like 1 wound.
Oh,
but
the Judiciar.
Just
I was so confused. Yeah, the fight's first.
Yeah,
so guy. Yeah, okay.
So she survives, and I'm able to score like an assassinate off of it, and then I'm like, okay, well she's gone, so just like whatever. Scarbread just like he kind of went into the backfield a little bit. He didn't die, so there was kind of a bonus. But it's literally like I just got shoved up. I played it all wrong. And I had to learn a completely different play style than what I'm used to, and I played them like I wanted to play Black Templars, and you don't do that there. So I kind of had like a huge learning curve in a lot of that stuff, and so I ended up losing that one. It was super close, but let me see if I can find the games. So I lost by 88 to 93.
Oh wow,
yeah.
Really
So
close.
the problem was with that first game was it's just me being dumb and not like double checking stuff. Is I should have just looked at my stuff, and then I had a better game plan. But at the end, we thought that it was the mission where you score 15 at the end, and I thought I was going to win, and so I didn't do a certain thing, and I just tried to take more objectives, and so that cost me like 10 points. I could have scored somewhere else, so I opted.
Little stinky brain moment.
No, it was all on me, just not knowing the 0 OC and deploying horribly and stuff like that. But the opponent was super amazing. He was super fun, and I'm super happy that he was able to, get the dub because he was a really cool guy. But yeah. So then I was like, okay, I got my first loss out. I got to rethink how to play this game now.
Speaking of rethinking game plan, Demeki, what was your first game like?
Oh, so my first game was against Space Marines. I can't remember. It was the Vanguard detachment. That's right. Vanguard detachment. Yeah, he had Repulsor, Executioner, all that good. Which the -1's only for shooting. So once I got into melee, it was on. So yeah. It was a pretty. I think it was pretty close. Let me pull it up. Let me just pull this thing up.
I think I remember you talking about this one because
it
of
was
a very...
83 to 55. So I
Right.
think it was a struggle with shooting just for the playburst crawlers and whatnot until what's his nuts came down from Lord of Virulence came down from Deep Strike, and then it's just like ignore cover and then +1 to blast weapons to hit and all that good stuff. Plus like also Mortarion babysitting the PBCs, so you know the 6-inch aura of ignore any and all modifiers. So like the -1 to hit if like Mortarion was around didn't really apply. But I think the most shocking thing was that during one of the turns, I think it was the middle objective, I held the middle objective. His repulsor executioner was there. I sent a 10-man unit of plague marines in, popped my strat for additional AP, and since he was near the contagion objective, I got -2 AP instead of -1 AP. And also with the Biologus Putrefier, I now have lethals on 5s and 6s. So literally just my plague marines with their plague knives almost just one-shot this repulsor executioner. So that was pretty disgusting.
Your auras are ridiculous.
Yes. And I mean, I took the -1. If I'm playing against Space Marines, I'm taking -1 to save. That's like for sure what I'm taking.
Well, you also, I mean, because the virulence gives you that thing, but Mortarion ignoring or modifiers means his entire stealth detachment ability is just kaput.
Yep.
Yeah, which really sucks.
As long as I'm 6 inches near Morty, yep. So yeah, that was rough for him. I felt bad. But I felt good. I got to win. Yay.
Yay.
And Mortarion, did Mortarion do anything in that game? No, he didn't do shit that game. So still bottom tier.
What we need to do for you, Demeki, is when you bring Morty, is have a tally point in the left and right. Did do shit, and just like mark it as we're going.
Well, you need a tally man.
Yeah,
you need the actual tally man.
I see what you did there. So I mean, like he did what he always does, which is distract people, and people are like, "Oh, I need to take care of Mortarion," which means less fire going into like my plague marines and my plague burst crawlers. So I guess he did that. He's scary-ish. They see him and they're like Primarch slap, and then everybody just shoots him. So
Chris, I didn't hear much about your game. What were your games like?
They were good. The first round I played Sisters of Battle.
Oh,
basic
right, Sisters.
Standard Sister of Battle list. And,
how many tanks?
2 of the tanks. I couldn't believe they have 3-up armor. They're the same. They come out of the same STC as the Space Marines, but they have a 3-up armor. Like, whoops.
Wait,
it was not good.
It's a Rhino chassis. Don't Rhinos also have a 3-up armor?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I guess it's a Rhino, but it has like it's up armored so much and looks so cool. You think they would put the better armor on it?
Oh, wait, was it the what? Did we lose Garrett? Garrett's dead.
All right, I was switching input. I'm sorry.
I'm messing with stuff.
Wait, so okay, so they had 2 of the Castigator tanks. Do they have any like the Exorcists, Morgan Vol?
One Exorcist,
okay,
and then Morgan Vol and 3 Paragon suits.
Yep. All right.
And I think the mistake that my opponent made, like a small mistake, is that she had Morgan Vol off the board till turn 3, and like strategic reserve. And that unit, like shooting is so good against Custodes. You could use it more of as a counter assault or like defensive unit against one of my main troop units. And it ended up not doing very much because she came on the mid board and then charged into my backfield turn 5, and it was just too late at that time to do much.
300
is really good.
325 point unit like that probably should be on the field.
Yeah, it killed my Caladius that was in the back, but it was already had 4 wounds left by then, which doesn't even degrade it much, really.
True.
At that point, it hits on 3. He's like, oh no.
Did the Caladius just take a tank every turn?
Yeah, and of course, because my great strategy, I dropped the Blade Wizard and his Wardens down turn 2, 9 inches from a tank and nothing else, and then my Caladius one-shot the tank, and I was like, I guess I'm not charging anywhere.
They're
And
just
then
chilling.
they didn't do any. Yeah, so they ended up not doing anything. And then turn 4, I was deciding, do I go in the backfield or stay near the center and deal with Celestine or whatever. And I ended up going toward the middle and getting Celestine. And then turn 5, I got area denial, and it was like, and so I ran into the middle and got 18 points turn 5 because I went second. So it just won me the game. I won 90-83. So it was close. It was back and forth every turn, and then turn 5, me being in the middle, I was able to hold 2 objectives and get area denial, full area denial. So I just swung the points.
How were
So, yeah.
how'd you deal with the castigators? Those things actually kind of rip on infantry with the 3 damage autocannons.
Yeah, they didn't do much. I just made all my 4-ups.
Yeah, all right,
Or
yeah.
3-ups.
I mean, that helps.
Are they AP1 though, or 2?
I don't remember. I think they're AP1, but I think they get something if they fire at an infantry. If they are AP1, then like you having cover
Yeah.
kind of ruins it.
Just having cover, or even a 3-up, like they're not going to do that much.
Yeah,
I
it's
just popped 4-up, feel no pains.
4 shots at 913, twin linked rapid fire 4.
Yeah, Trajan's unit went into like 10 sisters and a rhino, and then another 10 sisters, and then into the backfield, and eventually she killed the unit like turn 5, but Trajan barely died turn 5.
Wow,
And the other unit was undamaged, so I was like, it's just a lot to deal with.
God damn, this thing is I've been noticing, because you know me and how much I like sisters. I've been noticing a lot of it's been tank based, and so I was kind of curious how they're operating, but I see why now. It also forces battle shock, which is pretty impressive. So it's interesting. You just didn't die from them, so I guess it works out.
Yeah, no,
That's one way to win.
Caladius trade like with that. It's like they can't kill Caladius in 1 turn, and
No, not at
even
all.
like all that firepower can't kill 1 Caladius. So it's just they just are overwhelming, and they pop the tanks if they're visible. So
That's
not
all,
much.
man. Also, someone named Weeb gave a $5 super chat. Didn't have any
What
message to
up?
it. Didn't add
Heck yeah.
anything, but they're just called Weeb. So you know what? That's funny. I don't mind that. For myself,
respect
then game 1 for me was against Imperial Guard. Oof. That was a sweaty. That was a sweat one. It was really interesting. It was double Rogel Dorn, tank commander Lehman, 3 squads of like Max Katachin along with with Strachan, and Leontis, Creed, and a big 20-man blob, and then a Hellhound was there too, and a Scout Sentinel. I learned a lot about Guard that game. And it immediately made me want to play Guard. Because what the tech is that Lord Solar Leontis is part of a 20-man infantry squad with Creed on her own behind them. And because it's a 20-man squad, you can attach 2 characters. So you attach a platoon commander to that squad, which gives Leontis 24-inch orders because of the Vox caster.
That's insane.
And because Leontis can order anything, he orders the 2 Rogel Dorns and the single Lehman to give them all tank aim, so they're all hitting on 3s. And then the tank commander orders, or he orders the tank commander, and then the tank commander orders the other Lehman, also take aim, so they're all hitting on 3s. There's an engine seer there to give a 4-up invul to one of the tanks, and then the Sentinel, whatever the Sentinel shoots at, you reroll 1s on. So it's 3s rerolling 1s, and then the Hellhound, whatever it hits with its flamer, whatever it hits, you ignore cover against. And then if you use the mortars on Leontis' squad to hit something, and then you use Creed's free 2 CP strat for overlapping fields of fire to get army-wide +1 AP against that target. And because she does like the additional strat, you can do it twice. So you could get like +2 AP, ignores cover, hitting on 3s, rerolling 1s, guard, firepower on something. It's crazy. But yeah, no, I killed none of his tanks. I killed his Sentinel and his Hellhound, and that was it. And then I literally put like 2 tokens on all of his Katachin, and then like turn 2 or 3, I killed 4 full squads. So he can only bring back one of them with reinforcements. And so after that, I kind of just like took the field of the board, killed all of his objective grabbers, and by then he basically shot me off the board, just murdered me like in the street. But I ended up beating him, but points wise, which is you'll find to be a common occurrence, which is I kill a lot of things in the beginning and then I get tabled at the end, but I win by points. It was 84 to 69. Nice. And yeah, it was a fun guy. He was a Spanish, and so he occasionally would throw out some profanity in Spanish, which was quite funny. He was always like, sometimes he's like, sometimes I swear in Spanish, don't worry about it. It's just me thinking to myself, and I'm like, you're good, dude. But no, he was really, really fun. He modeled his Leontis as Gaunt's ghosts, which was really baller. He had like them all in this big like piece of cork, and they're all kind of
sick.
pointing and doing their guns. It's really cool.
I saw a guy there that had the Yarick Leontis.
Yeah, I saw that too.
That was
the
super
big
cool.
claw. Yeah,
it was super cool.
No, that was guard was like wow. Every time he shot the Rogel Dorn, I kept asking like, "Is this the next tank?" Like, no, is this still the Dorn? I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah, it's like an executioner, right? It has like 40 guns.
It's so many guns, and when that thing hits on threes and reroll ones, oh my god!
It's a 2-up save.
Oh yeah, it's a 2-up
Oh,
save.
good.
T12, right?
I think it's like T12. I think it has like 18 wounds.
No invul.
No invul, but you can give it a 4-up invul with the Engine Seer.
Yeah.
But he has a once per game ability to turn a damage into a 0. So
the Engine Seer is the
blank a
the
save.
little
Tech Priest.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Rogel Dorn is good, but it's like 240. It's not.
It's a lot for what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I made sure during the last tournament I murdered those immediately.
Yeah.
I think an executioner is cheaper, isn't it? It's like 230.
I think so. I think it's less beefy. Don't Executioners the 3-up?
Well, it's a
2-up?
3-up save, but it's like 16 wounds, T12, I think. It's just the save that's different.
Let me double
But
check.
I would pay 10 more points for a 2-up save on an executioner.
Here, let me find the Rogel Dorn because this thing is just ridiculous with the amount of guns this thing has. Rogel Dorn battle kit tank is T12, 2-up save, 18 wounds.
Okay. I can see why it's more, yeah.
Once per game blank a save.
That's
it's almost a
actually
night
insane.
for 240 points. Yes,
And
please.
War gear. It comes with its Gatling cannon, heavy stubber, twin battle cannon, and can have 2 additional melta guns, 2 additional multi meltas. And its main cannon is the where is it? The oppressor cannon, which is D6 plus 3 blast 12-2 flat 3 damage.
That's
it is
so gross.
and then when the Hellhound spits at you and makes you ignore cover, and then you give them the extra AP, so it's 12-3-3. Oh my god. And he had 2 of them. So it's really good. Real quick, Rose Goddess donated $5 in I think Norwegian krones and said, "Love these tournament recaps." Thank you. Appreciate the dono. All right. Game 2. We'll go with Chris this time. We'll go around.
All right. Round 2, I played a really nice opponent, Space Wolves. Yeah, this is was
Running
not fun.
as Space Wolves?
They were Space Wolves with the whatever the advance and charge with the white scars like rules basically. It's meant for, like,
Outrider?
Storm
like
Spear,
an all
whatever it's
advance and
called.
charge.
Mhm.
Did
So
he
any-
bring the Dreadnought, dude?
Yeah, he had Bjorn. He had Space Wolves. Like he had Ragnar, Blackmane, and 6 Blade Guard veterans in the stupid tank with whatever the transport. And then
Space
Bjorn,
Guys.
and then the super silly dread that comes at you like this that it's never gotten into combat versus me. I forgot the
Murder
new one.
Fang?
The
new
new
Brutalis.
Brutalis, yeah.
Yeah.
It's actually
Brutalis,
it's
dude.
got a few like multi-meltas on it, doesn't it? It's like
It has 2 multi-meltas, yes.
it's like okay at shooting.
Multi
Not,
melta
like,
and
great,
stuff.
but-
It's
and, like,
not meant for
stubbers, it's like-
shooting.
No,
but it's like okay for what it is. in
I think it
points.
does mortals, but it's never gotten to me, so I don't know. I just shoot it.
Yeah.
But
Caladius
cool.
tanks
Yeah.
twin linked my ass.
yeah. So this is fun. This is my theme is and then he had 2 of the new shooty dreads, and then he had Thundercav and some other stuff in infiltrators or whatever, and so this is the one that I don't know if you noobs know. That's like hold one, hold more, kill one, kill more. This used to be the best scoring for 40k ever was when Frontline Gaming did this.
Yeah.
That was the whole thing. Kill one, kill more, hold one, hold more. And it's it's actually pretty dynamic. I mean, honestly, but
I didn't.
That's
like
what
it.
it feels
was.
like it's a
I
good
didn't
one
like
for
it very
Custodes.
much, but
That was
that's a different time.
It was the best time for 40k. Besides acquisition rules. But anyway, so it was that one, and he had so much like forward moving stuff and scouts on one objective and then infiltrators on another, and I had to like stay back from Space Wolves, like all advancing and charging. But he was a little surprised when the one Caladius just like splooged on his tank and blew it up with Ragnar and all his homies in there on turn 1 because he just put it on the line. I'm like, okay. But I just moved 10 and popped it, and then I killed the Brutalis and some other stuff. And then what ended up happening is his all the Ragnar and the 6 Blade Guard that I blew out couldn't charge me that turn because they got blown up. But then the next turn they advanced and came into Trajan and 5 Wardens. So of course I used CP to fight first, and I used Trajan's 12 attacks, and I did the unit's 25 attacks, and I rolled 10 ones to hit.
Oh, jeez.
Hell yeah.
With the Wardens, I was like, oh, cool. And he's like, and then they have the ability to reroll ones to wound or for invuls. So he rerolled 1 invuls, and he has 4 of invuls with storm shields. So I ended up killing, and then Trajan did 12 attacks, and he killed like 1. They killed 5 before he swung, and then they also didn't know they have a fight on death strat. So they fought anyway. So I was like, cool. I should have just like given up the game now. But anyway, so that he ended up only losing 5 of the Blade Guard, and then Ragnar was a pain to deal with, and the Bjorn ended up being a pain to deal with, and then he also moved his I told him what my everything did, and he moved his Thundercav up on the other flank when I deep struck the Blade Wizard, and it was like a 6-inch charge, and I was like, and I moved back 6 because they can once a game move when you move within 9 of them. But it was an 11-inch charge, so he failed that charge, and then they were able to deal with the Thundercav.
Wait, can you do that though? Can you? Because like I'm looking at the Stormlance task force because that's what he took, which is the
I think it's
advance
the
and
unit.
charge and fall back and charge. But
wait, what are you referring to, Demeki?
The whole like fight on death thing.
I think that's the
stratagem.
unit.
Is it a stratagem or is it a unit? Because there isn't
stratagem,
a stratagem for that, but there's probably a stratagem for Space Wolves. And if he took Stormland's task force, does he still have access to Space Wolf stratagems?
He could have forgotten that he's not running Space Marine Gladius, which is like what Space Marines only were, and there is a 2 CP fight on death from that. So wait, was he advancing and charging the entire game, or did he have one battle round of advance and charge?
Because I don't remember. I think he said he had advance and charge, but I don't remember if he did it. I mean, he didn't have anything else to advance and charge besides the Blade Guard unit, really, because he had jump pack guys that they don't even need to advance and charge.
Maybe he ran Gladius then. He was just like, hey, I have advance and charge. Like, it's a thing I can pop, not like my army.
I don't know. He had, he had full reroll hits for the
oaths.
That's oaths,
for the oath and not wounds or whatever. But I don't know. I don't know Space Marine stuff.
It may have been Gladius. He may have ran Gladius, but it's fine.
I just know my general like playing against Marines is like he didn't do any great strategy things, and I didn't make any mistakes, and I lost like the game by 30 points. It's like I kind of don't like that. It's kind of weird for me, like where your army just wins because it rerolls everything, and and you don't have to do any good strategies or anything, and so the game ended up 99-63, and I also rolled some bad secondaries, but also rolled really bad on that one attack or whatever. But it kind of feels bad when you play strategically well and they don't play good at all and they win, But it's okay.
Yeah.
He's a nice
he got
guy.
99 points. He obviously played well somehow, whether it was movement or whatever it was. The whole deal.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think scoring 99 points is actually like
Yeah.
you have to play well to get 99
Yeah.
points.
Besides, you're also playing.
I
don't know.
I
I
don't
mean,
agree with that.
I
I
don't
don't
know
agree
about
with
that
that. Not in tactical. If it's
What?
fixed,
Well,
yeah.
if you could,
No.
you could,
Yeah, it's
Yeah, because
tactical
you
and
can
you get-
literally just draw a card and be like, "Oh, look, I already get this one." No
But you can
problem.
only get to like 70 or 80 points by drawing perfectly stuff. Like there's not enough stuff in it. I will
I
take
scored
this to my
100.
grave. You're good though. Like
I never score
with
100, so
Space Marines.
obviously I'm not good.
Not for Space Marines.
Marines are so fine right now. They're not even a
I
problem.
I agree with you, Chris. You're not
Have
alone.
you played Iron Warriors?
Besides Iron Warrior.
Well, Iron Hands, they're Iron Hands.
it's the black
I have.
Black Templars one. It's the Black Templars now. It sucks.
You're right. Sorry, it's
Chris,
Black Templars run as
I
Iron
just
Sword.
want you to
so
know
bummed.
I am here
Yeah.
for you, man. I know how you feel.
I only have
We're-
26
well-
years of experience playing against Space Marines.
Hey man, you playing Custodians. I mean, they're not doing it so hot right now anyway.
The second to worst army. Yep.
What's the worst? Is it Drukhari?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're at like 44 on the whatever the World Championship. So at the top players, so it's like a tighter field because they're really like at 35 and Custodians are like maybe 40% win rate or something. But
Gotcha. Okay. Because funny enough, a Drukhari player did pretty damn well in the tournament, especially as too. So it's interesting to pop on that. Garrett, your Demons.
Oh, speaking of Custodes, guess what I played? Custodes. I actually was kind of terrified of Custodes. I felt like we're like an okay matchup against Demons with their strat usage and what they have for like monsters and stuff like that. This game was a game of learning how to deploy for me. His list actually brought bikes, and they were actually kind of good for what they were and how he used them. He brought the usual Trajan. He brought Trajan with like actually put like 5 guards with him, and then he brought Blade Wizard with like wardens, and then guardsmen. He didn't bring in Cladius tanks, thank God, but he brought Sagittarum, and he brought a Vindicator. So I didn't quite just trying to learn how to properly play with very limited number of like things that can hold objectives for me against Custodians was really tough when starting stuff in Deep Strike because you don't have a lot. And surprisingly enough, this was a really good matchup for him versus myself for the mission play for the kill one, kill more, because I had lots of Nurglings, I had lots of like flamers. I only had like 3 flamers, like 3 Nurglings, 3 Nurglings. So his shooting was shooty. He could shoot with that list right there, and he could shoot my objective holders, which sucked. And I was like, damn, how do I do this? So essentially, Shaxi came in, killed the guard squad. I put pink horrors, and I held that objective essentially. But the center was super tough because there wasn't a lot of terrain, so he was able to just shoot with the Vindicator, his Sagittarum, and they actually low-key kind of rip when you only have 4-up saves and you fail a lot of those. It kind of like ouchie.
Is it the once per game?
Dev wounds, yeah, he spiked hard on that with his thing. But it was like cool, dude. I love seeing Sagittarium. I'm like, yo, those are super cool. I love those things. I'm okay with it.
Well, there's no reroll. How did he just rolled all 6s on his
dude? You just
shots.
Boom. Yeah, no, he. I
guess it hits a lot worse because
you're hitting on 2s and he just spiked 6s on his Sag, and it was like dev. I was like,
it probably hits a lot harder too because the 2 damage dev is really rough against like a big monster as opposed to like being lost on 1 damage models.
And to be honest with those models is that his low-key shooting against like my little stuff was really strong with like his guard and his wardens and stuff like that. But actually the bikes were low-key kind of good. So let me tell you why it's good against my list. It's because I had to leave my back objective because I had to corrupt it and move forward because I didn't have a lot of stuff. And so he could hop in and go over. So I was able to like kind of play and go heroically intervene into them with Be'lakor because he charged in something, and I only killed like 3 of them with Be'lakor. And then he's like, "Yeah, that's a cool story, dude. Fall back, charge with them into my backline," and I was like, "Shit." Another big thing is I deep strike Scarbrand right into into his center, trying to make a charge onto his wardens that were off an objective to try to like not get fights first. So I go to roll, and it was like Scarbrand's like, "Man, I'm not angry enough, bro. I can't go in," and so he didn't go in. And then he's Trajan, 2 Termies, wardens. He got cooked, and he got deep fried. And they said, "Happy Thanksgiving" from the Custodes. And that kind of that was a big backbreaker, because by the time I can get Shalaxi into the back line, it just like my kind of poppin' force was not really there, because he was able to kind of pick stuff up, because he was able to go into charge back into Be'lakor and like pick that back up, and it's just like his death ball was like a death ball, and I was like, damn, I can't really charge you because you have fights first, and you pop a strat for +1 to wound, and I'm like against monsters, and I'm like, ooh, that's really tough. I ended up losing that match again. The failed charge was what I think was one of the biggest things for me on that one, but it was also just an experience on learning how to properly use my my OC units, and it was a good learning experience from them. And it was good because he had actually decent shooting against them, so I was able to learn a lot how to hide them and stuff like that. The final score was like 50 to like 89. I just once he lost a lot of stuff, I couldn't really do too much, but yeah. But it was a fun game,
fair.
good opponent. His name was Garrett, so I guess the better Garrett won that day, so it's okay. So it was kind of cool.
It's interesting because like, don't demons, the big monsters, don't have a shitload of dev, right?
No, dude, I don't have it. I have devs on Shalaxi has like 1 attack that has devs.
Okay, because I
I
was
think-
thinking like, because like obviously Custodes, one of their biggest issues is like the lack of being able to survive against dev after the nerf.
Mhm.
And I was trying to think like, was there a lot of dev in your list? And I don't think there was.
So Be'lakor has shooting dev, but it's
Okay.
like it's 12 attacks, 2, 6, -3, 1 damage. So I'm wounding on 4s anyways, and it's only 1 damage.
Okay, yeah.
And it's dev wounds. I mean, it's like a couple chip there. Shalaxi's got a few. I'm surprised Kairos doesn't have dev wounds on his things, but that seems really strong for him for 200 some odd points.
True.
Shalaxi's got like a dev wounds on like
It's like
her
a 4
focus-
attacks or whatever. This claws, or is it the gun?
both. So her claws, it's like her psychic thing is like D6 2 up 9 -2 D3 with dev wounds and sustain 3. But
Sustain
Yeah.
3?
yeah, but you roll a 1 and then you don't roll a 6, and you're like, okay, that's just 1 attack.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
cool.
it's true. Okay.
That happens. But that's kind of really it. I wish Scarbrand had dev wounds, dude. That shit would be insane.
Scarbrand with dev wounds would be a little.
Oh, it's so fun.
wacky.
I have a fun story with him later. But yeah, no, that's my list. I think that this is where I started learning a lot about like where placing stuff. But yeah, it was fun. Good opponent. Solid name, dude. Like, it was fun.
Custodes are good at countering the big demons because you're gonna do -1 to hit every time in melee, and they just out melee you because they can survive -1 to hit and 4
Yeah.
up and they can hit back for 1 CP +1 to wound, and yeah, it's
True.
rough.
And you don't lose the 2 damage either. It all goes in.
Yeah, not with Trajan's unit. Like, you can't.
Yeah,
modify
I was
him,
trying to force his unit out. He held it like in the back of his he had like a ruin that he kept it in that he pushed up a little bit, and I was just like trying to force them out so he didn't countercharge me, but I just couldn't really do too much.
Zemeki, you want to chat about game 2?
Oh
Man,
shit!
I fought a real asshole
Yeah.
in game 2.
Dude, my opponent smelled like shit.
Yeah, actually, I had to take a shit that whole game.
I know you did it in battle round 2.
So I played Bricky.
Yeah, we got
in
paired
round
up.
2. We got paired up against each other. I already knew the
Yes.
mistake that I made, even though I committed to my mistake. But it was my first time in a long time playing against Ricky's Votann, or Votann, or
Whatever.
Dwarves, whatever you want to call them.
Whatever.
Hey, those are cool models. Did you paint those yourself?
Yeah, man.
So he 2-tokened my Plague Marines at the beginning of the match, and he baited me to get them out of the Rhino, and I took the bait. What I should have done was just left him in the Rhino and forced him to pop the Rhino, because he would not have gotten +1 to hit or wound on the Rhino. So I should have left him in the Rhino. That really cost me the game because I lost my Plague Marines early on and I only had 20 of them. But it was still a pretty close match. It was we ended up going.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. You started to table me at the end.
92 to 73. So. Yeah. He was I had to sink a lot of resources into the damn Terminator brick. Like,
yeah, you resources. Do. Yeah,
so
that was.
I got rid of the bikes pretty early.
Yeah. No, like turn 2 Death Guard shooting, I was sweating. Yeah, you rolled some
I've been there,
mortars. Yeah, the mortars were starting to take me down real bad, but
how did you deal with those actually? What was the plan for those mortars?
He didn't. He was just like
I'm
he
always
had to
curious.
just hopefully live by like just me rolling poorly and him rolling better.
Do you kind of understand like the Black Templar thing where I'm like, I don't know what to do right now. Like I'm just dying.
100%. I definitely I realized that the biggest threat to me was absolutely going to be the Plague Marine bricks. So I did token them too. I tokened Mortarion and I tokened the Flesh Mower. Drone.
Which I was surprised because like the other 2 Foated blow drones were putting in work.
They were. I didn't know their gun stat. I may have changed my mind, but I was scared.
I thought I told you so many times. I was like 6, 8, -2 damage each.
No, isn't it 3 damage?
Nah, it's 2. I said 2.
Oh no, you're right. Sorry, it was AP 3 because you were plunging.
Yeah.
No, because the mower would like one tap a whole squad of Votann, and that's what I was scared about. We also didn't mention the fact that turn 2, I brought my Terminator brick down, fired it all into Mortarion, and then did a 9-inch rerollable bomb charge and killed him in one go. Which like by like a wound, barely killed him. The main Votann strat, like the Terminators put in work. They are an insane unit. 10 dudes at T6, 2 up, 2 wounds, -1 to wound. You void armor them for AOC. Very tanky, but the main strat is you 2-token something, you bring them down, you spend 1 CP to give them sustained hits 2 on all their guns. So next thing you know, I'm firing into Mortarion with 30 shots, hitting on 2, sustained hits 2, dev wounds. And then another 10 D6 shots, sustain hits 2, 401. And since these are all wounding on 5s, like eventually, like I would get like 7 dev wounds in and a bunch of saves. So at the end, he would take like around 10 damage because of all the 2-ups he has to make.
Then 5-up feel no pains.
Yep. And then I came in there and it's 18 attacks at 922.
And
+1 to hit, +1 to wound.
Him killing my Plague Marines too, that got rid of my grenade stratagem, which would have murdered his Terminators. So
that would have been rough. But once the Terminators were down and kill Mortarion, you focus all of your PBCs into them. I think you killed like 4.
Yeah.
I void armored them. It was tough. But after that was kind of like then everything started to die. But I had points.
Yeah, it was still I mean, like you got me by what?
It's like 20 points, 25 points, give or take. Nothing crazy.
No, it was 73-92. It wasn't too crazy.
Wait, really? I have 96 to 72.
Maybe I inputted something wrong on mine. Whatever.
It's like 20 points plus or minus.
Yeah. But that's what really screwed me over. Which I learned that lesson, and it will come back later.
Yeah, it will. I'm glad I tokened the Marines. That was good. Real quick, I want to do some super chats. Brandon Holm gave $5 and said, "Thanks for the recap. Could you please help explain to my girlfriend why it's cool to spend an entire weekend playing with toys with the boys? Thanks." Hey, you're out and it's socializing. You know, We
It's
were
just like playing golf.
we were too
literally.
Yes. Yeah.
yeah. We were too hard on Pokemon Go.
What?
We were too hard on Pokemon Go. You know, everyone was out and about outside with friends, hanging out, socializing. We were
Dude.
too hard on that.
So I have to say, Pokemon Go was some of the best dates I went on because it's like for a date environment, you go like to the park or something like that, and you like hang out and you're doing something in common with each other, and you're like talking and having fun catching Pokemon. It was like great for dates. I tell you what, it was really good.
My
So-
wife's not into those things, so yeah, no.
Secondly, Synovia Light gave $10 as well and said, I'm late, god damn it. Bricky, Votann opinion, please take my money. Yes, sir, or madam. I hate Votann. And Demeki realizes this very well. They are a horribly designed index with no synergy, held up entirely by being able to say fuck you 4 different times at the beginning of the game and having dirt cheap units.
Mhm.
That is their entire shtick, and it's not fun.
Yeah, I also for that match I took the -1 to the armor save, which is nice, but I think for his list I should have took the -1 to weapon
hit.
skill and ballistic skill. Yeah.
Maybe the Terminators would have been tougher to deal with, but it all depends. All right.
Depends on what old people wear.
God damn it. Game 3. This time, Demeki, you go.
Game 3, I played Deathwatch. I played the same guy.
Oh, damn.
And yeah, it was yeah, I felt bad. It was a bit of a stomp. I took -1 to save again, and then PBCs did their thing. I rolled very well. I killed a lot of his like he had the flyer that like you can shove dudes in and they can come out and stuff. I completely ignored that thing the whole game because it has 0 OC and its guns weren't really strong enough to like deal with anything that I had. So like I just didn't even interact with it. And then I just proceeded to like kill each one of his kill teams like one right after another. I was in it was a slaughter. I felt bad.
What was the score?
It was 100 to 48.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah. -1 to save is really good.
Yeah,
against Space
it is.
Marines. Yeah.
Yeah. Chris, what was your third game?
My third game was Tyranids,
Oh,
and yeah, I haven't played them for 2 editions, so I have no idea what anything does. And and it was that deployment, right, where you're like 18 inches away with the center
the circle.
bubble thing. So
Yeah.
Mhm.
you're like, so I put Trajan in his unit, like I put a building right there, and I was like right behind the line basically, and I guess everything has scout in his army. He had like lictors and 3 Molochs and like warriors, and then the zappy bugs that just do like ridiculous damage and have a 3-up invul. I forget what they're called now, but
Oh,
I know that they're always
the brain
really-
bugs.
Oh, the
Yeah.
big flamer.
Zone thropes.
I
Zone
always
thropes,
pop those
yeah.
as soon as possible.
Yeah, the
yeah,
zone
they're
thropes are insane.
I mean, 3-up invul is pretty hard to deal with when they're in a terrain too. And
I think they have a 4-up invul, but they're like
they're 4-up now.
They're like weirdly tanky. They're like annoyingly tanky. Yeah, for like
Yeah,
an
Last
anti-tank
edition, I think
shot.
last edition they had.
They
I
did.
can't even look it up because, of course, GW has blocked all Tyranids books on their desk.
I can look it up. I have the
Wahapedia, buddy.
Tyranid Codex right here.
But yeah, the brain bugs get shots at your Caladius because they hit like that just about as hard.
Truck.
Yeah, not until like they didn't do much until like turn 4 or 5. Because I had Caladius until the end of the game, and then he killed one like turn 5. So
Okay.
they didn't do much, but they were just like they were on an objective in a building. And then they took some shots at my troops. But anyway, he had 2 units of Gene Stealers, and he's charged in with like a Lictor and Death Leaper and Gene Stealers turn 1 against Trajan. And his unit. So I had to use fight first right away. And I wiped the Gene Stealers at least pretty much so that he didn't hit back. And I think he killed 1 or 2 guys in that unit. But the problem is that I don't know the rules. I have to go check it out. But he was doing like he made me do like 3 battle shocks until that unit was battle shocked, and it's like I don't know. It seems a little weird. You can just keep the same unit take 3 battle shock tests in one phase.
I mean,
But-
that's a lot of like lists now with that stuff. Just try to do it.
Yeah.
Death Guard has a
Yeah.
list that does the same thing.
The
It's
Nero
really good
Lictor
against
is literally
some-
like 12 inches. Like take a battle shock, and he probably had 3 of them. Yeah.
Yeah, he did. So eventually, of course Trajan's unit's like battle shocked turn 1, so I couldn't bring a guy back in the next turn in the command phase, and I
I think it
like,
depends on their.
No,
Um,
it's the Nero Lictor that's I fought a turn later. It's a 12 inch
Okay.
12 inch. Pick a guy, make it take a shock test.
Yeah, so
Oh yeah.
so it was like my Trajan tanked it and stuff, and then fought back and kind of fought for the middle for a couple turns, but the battle shocks I ended up killing that unit because I couldn't use strats on them and fight first again, and then the Moraxes did work. Like they charged into Molochs and they just countercharged and just destroyed big bugs. And then one of them actually in melee with a Moloch, whatever you say, however you say it, is
Big mouse.
he
guy.
uses- his conversion beamer.
Wrong game,
Thanks,
Garrett.
Garrett. I rolled a 6 to hit with the conversion beamer, and it did 5 hits. It's sustained hits D3 in melee, and it's strength 10 AP2 3 damage. So I just killed it outright with shooting a full Maloch in combat, but I didn't even get to punch it. But yeah, and then he had gargoyles like countered, and then the Blade Wizard ran across. I'm like, you can advance and charge, and he's like, and then I rolled a 5 on my advance or whatever, and I charged his Gene Stealers in the back corner, like turn 1, and killed the whole unit. And he was like, I guess you told me they could advance and charge. I was like, yep. And I got lucky with that, and then I got bad secondaries in the beginning, and I turned around in the end, but it ended up I lost. It was 80 something to 66.
What's
And then the
what was the guy's name?
Manuel.
Oh, never mind, different guy. I also fought a Tyranids player that ran triple Nero Lictor. That's why I wasn't sure.
Yeah, I don't know if I think he had 1 Nero Lictor for sure. But he had 3 regular Lictors and Death Leaper and
Right.
also a warrior blob, like, and then he'd be like, "Oh,
Yeah.
are you done moving that?" He's like, "I'm gonna give him lone operative." I'm like, it's weird.
I've never heard of those before. Oh wait,
It's a strat, yeah, gives you lone operative.
He's probably in a different. What was his detachment?
yeah,
I
it's
have no
probably a simulation. No, not a simulation storm, something like that. Right. I think Demeki fought him later on.
Yeah.
Oh,
that was my
okay,
next
okay.
match.
Yeah, so
Um,
the battle shock sucked, and yeah, I'm just a salty Custodes player. I don't think they should. They went from leadership 11 to like you just fail battle shock like Space Marines. Like I'm not sure. It doesn't make sense, but
they're not lead 5.
No,
no,
there's 6.
they're
There's-
6 base. Trajan's 5, but
Trajan's
I
5,
mean they're
okay.
basically fearless.
That's
the
nuts,
first
too,
4
because,
editions
like,
they were played. So
Death Guard, most of Death Guard's leadership is 6, and like I had to fight that same list, and I was rolling all of my leadership tests. That's why I was kind of like, what's the point of this? Like, I can literally roll 6s because like he gives off like -1 to
yeah,
the
there's
roll,
also
but
minus
it's like
1. You know,
I roll a 7, 6, I still pass. Like,
yeah, I mean
'cause
7
Plague
is
Marines are
average. You should
close.
fail that 50% of the time. So
yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of
you just
bizarre
rolled good.
because I feel
Well,
like
no, they
even,
6 leadership 6 is what I'm saying. So like, as long as you roll the 6, you know.
yeah. I mean,
I just
Battle
take
Shock is
Templars and I have
definitely
5 across the board.
Battle Shock's definitely a little different now. I'm glad that it's not like you're scared, you're running away. It's like just like pinned down in a sense, like from like a lore perspective. It's like, oh my god, the shadow in the warp is
The
like
volume,
ruining our
yeah.
brains, and like, oh, we're being slowed. Though I know one of the Space Marine detachments has this thing where if you fail Battle Shock, you have to remove a model, and I'm hoping my Night Lords get something like that, but
that would be cool.
That'd be
that'd be
fun,
fun.
yeah.
But
Those are scary.
but they that is interesting. So he kept on forcing Battle Shock, and I guess you can't do fights first strat then.
Yeah,
That kind of stuff. I mean, I feel like Battle Shock never comes into play until someone texts for it, and then it's like really hard to deal with, like the Noise
Yeah.
Marines.
The Noise Marines
mean,
is like it's not like a super like hardcore thing, but it's like enough to like throw 2 at you, where you're like, fuck, if I fail this is really important.
I guess
Yeah.
the best way to just deal with it is play with a clock, honestly, because like your opponent has to say, okay, your battle shock test, and then just play on a clock. I guess
Like
roll
that's
fast.
on you then.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, either
sure. Well, a
or.
battle
I
shock
mean, your
test is
opponent still
quick.
has to. Yeah, battle shock test is nothing. 2 dice.
Yeah, there's so someone in chat, Ramsey said it'll be Vanguard Onslaught. There's also a strat to force Battle Shock as well, for
Yeah.
the Tyranid things. That makes sense. So
I-
so you won the game against the Nids then, Chris.
No, I lost 80
Oh.
something to 66.
Oh, you said it started turning around better for you at the end. I thought that.
Yeah,
made
I
sense.
came back. Otherwise, it would have been a blowout. But yeah, no, it did not end up good. Battle Shock's really hard when you have like 7 units and you can't use
Yeah.
strats on half of them. Like,
Each one's needed.
gets a little hard.
That makes sense.
And that's what she said.
Yeah, so I ended up 1 and 2 day 1.
Okay.
So I was sad boy.
Demeki, what you got? Third game.
Oh, third game. Hold on, did we do Garrett?
No, just it's fine.
Did I already give you your third? Wait,
Garrett, did you do your third game?
did you do your
No.
third game, Demeki?
Do your third game. Golly, man, I'm paying attention. See, go ahead,
Wait,
Garrett.
Demeki, have you done?
Oh,
your
he
third
did.
game?
He did.
Yeah.
He did.
I'm not very
Yeah, I
did
did
either.
Death Watch.
I forgot that he
that's
did it.
right,
Yeah,
that's
Garrett.
right.
Oh,
did
you
your
played. You
game.
played the guide I played in the beginning.
Yeah, I remember now. I remember now.
So this list was terrifying to play against. I played against Chaos Knights, and it was all War Dogs. So I think of like the first 3 games as like there's certain specific things that I try to learn in the game. I did an experiment this one where I took a fixed thing. I knew I was like, I don't like playing fixed, but I was like, this list that I have feels like fixed is the way to go, kind of. So you take the Nurgling. So I did deploy Teleport Homer and bring it down because I was like, well, if I kill him, get max points. And then I just dropped Nurglings 3 inches from him in the back line for 5 points a turn or 4 points a turn or something like that. And so the game itself was a really good one for him in the sense is that it was a 4 objective thing. Well, kind of good for him, but it was like a 4 objective thing, and all his war dogs are 8. So I couldn't OC him without my full squad of pink horrors on any objective period.
Like
so
I'll see him.
Yeah, no, he had 8 on all his war dogs. I had 3, and then like 20 on my pink horrors. But if you kill him, then whatever. Then it goes down to 1. So max maybe 10. So the biggest problem with that match is that he had to interact on every single one of his platforms. That he just sat there and shot at all my things that were hiding or trying to get OC. And so turn 2 comes. In turn 1, I jumped Be'lakor back into reserves, and I was like, okay, all right, Garrett, pep talk here. You have like 10 war dogs facing down you. The melee ones hit like a freaking truck. Those are the scariest ones that you have to deal with, are like the melee ones for myself.
Oh shit.
So
Tactical
I was
Tortoise,
like, okay.
thanks for the raid, my dude.
He had
Welcome.
The way he kind of had
Appreciate
it up, where he had like 2 on one side and then 2 on the another side, and I had a gap big enough to deep strike Be'lakor in 6 inches, and then deep strike Scarbrand in, and then Shalaxian 6 inches as well to get the warp, because I could not. There's no way I could get shadows. Period. And I'm like, Scarbrand can go to the left, Shalaxian can go to the right. Take 2 of these guys on. And most likely, I know Scarbrand, high chance, because I give him +1 AP. All his saves go through. I mean, all of his attacks go through on the War Dogs with 5 AP, 6 damage flat. As long as I get 2 on each one of those, he has 8 attacks. That just kills. So I'm like, okay, I can kill those 2. Shalaxian can go in, kill 1, maybe wound 2, but we'll see where we can go with that. I feel pretty good with her surviving because she's a 5 feel no pain. And then I was like, after that, then I just kind of run over the game, period. My monsters just run across everything, and then I just win. Snap back to reality. Scarbrand rolls. Gravity. Yep, Scarbrand rolls 3. Shalaxia rolls 3 as well. They sit there for the whole turn, and he just picks both of them up. And after that, I was like, well, I hate to be that guy, but I don't really have much, but I'm going to give it a good college try here. and I killed like one more thing, maybe one more two things with Be'lakor before he got taken down. I ended up scoring like 14 points with Deploy Double Horns with my Nurglings, and I scored like 9 points on secondaries for Bring It Down. But the problem was just that failed charge, and I think that's what lost me the game. And it's okay. Like sometimes that just stuff just happens, and I think you have to take those risks in those certain games. I just couldn't do any primary stuff. Period. Like I controlled like one primary in the game, and that was like from Shalaxi being able to jump onto something. But besides that, just couldn't hold any primaries. And the final score was like 50 to 90 or something like that, which I was like, for scoring as many secondaries as I did, I was like, okay, because like turn 2, I just two things just gone.
Did you not have a CP pocketed for the reroll charge?
With the reroll charge? No, I had to move up the board. I had to like I had to spend 2 CP straight up strat to drop him 3. No, he wasn't. No, I lied. He wasn't 6 inch. I had to do something where I put him like 3 inches, and then I had to like just drop something like that. So I had to spend CP like to sticky objectives when I could.
Sure.
And so I didn't really have the CP gen on that stuff like that.
That's fair. I mean, those 6 inch charge, it's like, it sounds so easy, but it is just slightly above average. So it's always so finicky, especially.
Yeah.
This is 6 inches.
That seems a little big to me.
That's like 12 inches.
Yeah, what are you talking about? But
yeah, that was kind of the match. The good guy. He was a lot of fun to play against, so it wasn't like a big deal. He was sweating bullets though. Once I dropped that, he was like, ooh.
Yeah.
He's like, oh shit.
And Shalaxi.
Oh man! And then I rolled, and then I visibly saw him. But and I was like,
oh, thank God.
You're right. And I was like, you got lucky today. Funny story though is at the end of like the day, I went 0-3, and I was like, damn, dude. So I go to my car, right? And there's a note on it. And the note is 0110001. So I had to translate it. And it said, the Omnissiah sends his regards. And I was like, fuck, that's what I get for talking shit on Friday.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So,
wait, I don't know what happened.
I don't
oh
get it.
no, the AdMech. I talked a lot of shit on Friday about AdMech, and then I went 0-3. And I was
I didn't catch the joke of the AdMech shit talking.
The binary
yeah. Well, no, for a second I thought Chris left something on your car because he's our AdMech player. I thought Chris like slashed your tires or something.
Yeah, are you challenging me? What's going on?
Yeah, that'd be a good stream game.
right.
So third game.
You.
I know.
Oh, okay.
I remember now. I knew what I screwed up. I realized my mistake. Third game was against Drukhari. Against one of the top players, or one of the top Xenos people currently at the tournament at the time.
Oh, XPZ.
XPZ guys, yeah. So I saw Drukhari and I was like, okay, I'm 2-0. So this guy's also 2-0 with Drukhari. So something's up, but I think I should be fine. Turns out Scourges are like insane. And like,
you don't like 5 Dark Lances? What?
four Dark Lances with a 14-inch move and move, shoot, move.
Oh.
Okay. So I found out about that. 110 points for 4 Dark Lances with a 14-inch fly infantry move that can shoot and move 6 inches.
They're only one shot though, right?
Yeah, but
but if it hits.
Well, so a dark lance, if I'm pretty sure, is strength 12, AP3, D6 plus 2 damage.
Yes.
But you see, Drukhari got these things called pain tokens, where it lets your unit re-roll all their hit rolls. And then you put a Chronos next to them. So anything next to the Chronos on a 4-up doesn't actually spend the pain token. It gets replenished. So what happens? He has a Tantalus, a crap load of Venoms, 3 squads of Scourges, some bikes and stuff, and the Venoms fly around the board, shooting out the half squads of Cabalites that also give sticky objectives. The Dark Lances coming out of the Tantalus itself. And the Void Raven bomber he brings, which when it flies over something on a 4-up does D6 mortal wounds. It also has 12 shots at strength 8, AP 4, damage 2, and a missile launcher in addition to that. It is
It's
like,
nasty.
Yeah, and then when everything in the army can reroll hit rolls because you just pain token all of them, and then everything he kills gives him a pain token, and then on a 4-up he regens the pain token. He got first turn. And guess what? It doesn't really matter when your dwarves are T5 and T6 when all of his poison weapons are anti-infantry 4-up. So he pounded my butt pretty hard the first 2 battle rounds, and then I actually started to turn it around a little bit. I dropped my Terminators and did a crap load of damage and made him sweat a little bit, and then he just began to continue to pound my butt and beat me. What was it? 63 to 92. Man,
Scourges.
The Scourges. He was like, yeah, it's called Index Darklands for a reason, and I'm like, I'm sure that's just a phrase, and it's like, no, that is, wow. Scourges are laughably undercosted, and wow.
That's why, I mean, like, Scourges and Kabbalah Warriors are like the way to go right now with that Codex or Index, because like,
yeah,
I've run the Grotesques, they're bad. I've run Racks, they're bad. Like, I've run almost every unit.
I was
It's rough.
I was looking at the Scourge data sheet, and you can take 10 of them. Can you imagine 30 flying across the board?
Dude, it was insane. Also, he had Yuri and Rakarth just deep striking randomly on the board because he comes back on a 2-up, and he's got a really aggravating okay, so I got to show you guys this because it's like he himself is not very good for his intended purpose, but by himself he's hilarious. So Yuri and Rakarth is the named homunculus you put with Rax normally. And so his ability is at the end of the movement phase, you can heal a Chronos, Talos, Grotesque, or Rack unit. If it does, 3 lost wounds, or Rax units, 3 destroyed models, right? But he's got this really wacky profile. It's T4, 5 wounds, 4-up invul, 4-up feel no pain. And he has a 1-shot flamer that's 3d6 shots at 3/1/1 dev wound. But he comes back alive on a 2-up with full wounds remaining. So 5 wounds with a 4-up invul and a 4-up feel no pain is just really annoying to get through. And you can't do it reliably. And then he just comes back. It's
yeah, you have to dedicate something better than just like light shooting to it seems like.
Yeah, you have to dedicate something that it is 80 points. You have to dedicate significantly more than 80 points to deal with him. It's really weird, but anyway, yeah, that put me 2-1 day 1. He was really good. The moment I saw him measuring, I was like, oh no, I've lost this. Like when you find a really good player and they start like foot here this. You're like, oh no, I'm done. I'm gone.
GG.
All right, day 2, game 4. Who has not started first yet?
You.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All right, day 4. Nids, Tyranids. Let's see. It was triple Exocrine, double Maleceptor, triple Neurolictor, Death Leaper, 3 squads of 10 Harmagants, and the Brain Bug, Neurotyrant, and Gargoyles, and some Ripper Swarms. The exact same thing happens every single time. He tried to battle shock me a ton, and he did, but like it didn't matter much because my stratagems aren't. It was on like Hearthkin Warriors. Who cares? I ran up to him. I was like, "What's up, bro? How's it going?" I killed like 2 of his Neurolictors and tied up his Death Leaper for the whole game I just like took my buggy and just shoved it into his face. And it was like, all right, 622 is a fine profile, but not against my buggy that's like T10. And then he had a biovore too. And I shot my buggy around, killed the biovore, so he couldn't do any kind of spore mine shenanigans anymore. Because he took
Oh, that's good.
he took teleport homers and a different
Yep.
fixed one. I don't remember what it
Yep.
was.
Yeah.
Engage. It was engage.
Yeah, that's the tech. Yeah.
So I killed the biovore like turn 2 or 3 by sneaking my buggy around with the beam cannon. And then he put some rippers in the back line, but then they I killed them and then screened out. And so he didn't get much in engage. I killed one big bug. I killed the mouse by dropping the Terminators and beating it to death. But that's
How
about
very
all-
Starship Troopers of you.
Yeah, I came down. I was just like, oh. But that was about it. And then I scored a crap load of points, denied him secondaries, and then he basically tabled me. He murdered my entire rest of my army. But I won on points, a common theme, and that was 91 to 55.
Nice.
So
Good job, Zed.
once he did that, I was like, or once I killed the biovore, I was like, okay, I think I've got this. But God, he did the Neurolictors battle shocking something and then being like, if it's battle shocked, your whole army gets +1 to wound against it. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, funny, lovely.
Fuck.
So, well, I guess I'll go next because I ran into Nids. I ran into the exact same Nids list that Chris played against.
Oh yeah.
So what I took away from that, because I'm a visual learner. Like, I have to see it done on tabletop in order to completely understand. Like, you can show me a data sheet
Same.
and I
That's-
could be
that-
like, that's cool, but like I need to see it. I need to see the representation.
makes-
I need it to
Yeah.
happen in real life.
That's why you learn
So-
so much from our Dark Angels, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've learned a lot from our Dark Angels. So when I got to the table, I was like, Molochs, I know they pop up. They probably still do the same thing, mortal wounds and stuff. And then like I was looking at the rest of the army, and I was just like, what do they do now? Like, the psychic phase is gone. What does this army do now? Like, I was just like, I have no idea. I was just like, I'm gonna wing it. And I wish I would have I wish I would have had the codex for one, so I could look at their data sheets as I was playing, because that was the thing that was getting me. I was like, I don't know what these things do. So the first thing I knew what to do was to just mortar the gene stealers. I was like, these things got to go. Like, they fucked hard in other editions. They probably fuck hard in this edition. So I was like, these things gotta go. And I mortared the shit out of those things. The gargoyles I knew would die to a swift breeze. So like, those were taken care of. The mistake I made was not going with using my army's ability of how tough they are, and just shoved myself up the board as fast as possible. Because I instead like took my time, sat back for like a round or two just to like force him to come out, and I should have just like pushed everything forward, because like he couldn't really deal with the PBCs. He could barely deal with a rhino. It was kind of depressing, because I was like, man, this is like my rhinos are like, they're fine.
Kind of tough.
Yeah, they're fine. Like, I thought Nid slap. So like, yeah, but he ended up scoring me on points just because like I had sat back and did the wait and see for too long, and I should have just like pushed forward. Because like at the end of the game, I started to pick up on points, and he had barely anything left on the table, and like my OC was better. Like I was stronger. Like my toughness was better. So like I just made the mistake and just didn't push, and I should have just pushed forward.
From what I hear from you, both you and Chris fighting him, he had a lot of like anti-elite and infantry killing, but it didn't seem like he had a whole lot of anti-tank outside of the zone tropes.
Yeah, he had nothing.
Yeah, no,
besides
and
the
I
sword.
killed those things next. Like, I was just like, the mortars, like once it was like one unit was done, like I took out those things next. Like, and the Molochs came up and they didn't do anything. They were
did
just being
nothing.
annoying.
Yeah,
just being
exactly.
annoying and in
The-
the way.
The Molochs are like 16 attacks, but it's an 8-2-1. It's like it's
Yeah.
not particularly
Yeah.
frightening.
They couldn't even hurt
Yeah,
the
no.
Morax. They were like,
Yeah,
no.
They
Yeah.
they couldn't hurt a PBC. So because PBC's T10 two up armor save, if y'all don't know, a PBC pretty big cock has a 2-up armor save with a 5-up invul.
You
all right?
Disgustingly
You-
resilient.
You said that in our game was like PVC pretty big cock, and Nick was just like he had his little wine glass. and just
Yeah,
like-
the little wine glass. Yes.
we haven't had Nick on yet. We should one day,
I
but
love Nick.
for the viewers, Nick is he's great. He's a little soft spoken kind of guy. And so
I
it's
love
just-
his mustache too. I'm sorry, he has a great mustache. That
He's got a
matches
great
personality.
mustache, but he's a bit of a quieter type. But he's always really funny because you don't expect that level of humor from someone who's a little bit more reserved. So
Yeah,
it's just like that turn to Demeki. Pretty big cock. It's like, excuse me.
Yeah. So, I have to say too, at this point, I already figured out who my MVP was through this whole tournament, and it's the Lord of Virulence. Every time that man came down, he scored me at least 5 points, and like ignore cover all the time because like where he would be at, he could pretty much see almost every unit on the battlefield. So it's just like, you have cover? No, you don't, because Lord of Virulence can see you. So yeah, Lord of Virulence, and he was also pretty annoying that game. He's 100 points. He sent something to go kill it, and then like the Lord of Virulence just killed that. And then the Lord of Virulence is like, all right, I'm gonna make my way over and go kill some more stuff. So
How did Morty perform? I need to know the Morty information.
I need my Morty recap.
Did he do
Morty
anything or
dude?
did he not anything? It sounds like he didn't do anything if you didn't remember.
nah, he was that game he might have, well, like
He sprayed contagion and gave the
he
PVCs
actually,
a
so
buff.
he didn't die. I don't think he died that game. And that was the problem, because like I could have just shoved Morty up the board. Because like there was no way for him to deal with him. And I didn't realize that because I didn't know anything about the army. So like Morty did put in some work that game, but like me playing it slow for the first 2 turns cost me in points, which cost me the match. The match ended up being pretty close. It was 62-72. So 10-point
Okay.
difference.
like
Chris, number 4.
All right, number 4, I played Death Watch.
Death Watch.
Same guy as they played, or a different Death?
I don't
Watch
know.
guy.
Was he like the nicest guy ever?
Yeah.
Hawaiian shirt.
Yeah. I think that's.
Yep.
We played the same guy probably.
Holy
Yeah,
crap.
super nice.
I did
Awesome
get a
guy.
chance to play him. Damn it. 3
you
of
have
you
the
guys
flyer?
did.
You had the flyer.
Yes, he had a
Yep.
flyer with like
Yep.
the 10 kill team in it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was the one that I ignored the whole game.
Oh, hot damn.
Oh,
I did the exact opposite.
I just smurfed it turn 1 because one ladies could see it. So. Yeah, no. He was this is my funnest game for sure. He was really cool. And then so yeah, we just he had one of the shooty dreads, and then a redemptor, and did he have 2 redemptors or 1? I can't remember.
So
And
he
then-
had one redemptor and then one
and one
ballistas.
He had a
Ballistas, yeah.
redemptor, and then the ballistas. Yeah.
Then he had 10
Yeah.
terminators, the Judicar, and
Mhm.
yeah. The Jushir and the
Judicar, yeah.
Yeah,
and
and
that
the
unit was
Bullscape
scary.
Blade vets. Yeah.
And but with vets, yeah.
Yeah.
And so I went first against that, and one Cladius one-shotted the flyer, and
Yep.
Okay, I have to say this because I know the viewers are probably wondering what the hell a Cladius does. So it's 4 attacks.
It's a Forge World model, right?
It's
Yes.
it's 4
Yeah, yeah,
Dark
yeah.
Lances. It's 4 shots at 12, 3, D6 plus 2, hitting on 2s. But wait, what's that other word, Chris, it has?
well, for some reason, twin linked and lethal hits against monsters and vehicles also, and 48-inch range.
Oh, why does
So,
it have
yeah.
twin linked?
Why? Yeah.
I mean, so that it can kill knights.
Yeah, but
it's. I feel
like-
like you're fine without it. Like,
it's just
Wounding on fours is
crazy.
really bad against
The
knights.
Tantalus has twin linked.
it's just crazy that it's 4 like Dark Lances with twin linked on 2s.
Yeah.
Like it's really powerful.
Yeah, and that's
Um,
why I have the Morax, because then they have a Caladius in melee. And,
oh yeah, the claw.
Yeah, that's
Dude, that's so. I don't flashbacks.
Yeah, the claw.
Dude,
Yeah.
that thing.
How
bugs.
have the Moiraxes been performing anyway in the army?
They've been great. That's the only time I played them. I built them last week, but they were awesome. Like the OC8 is silly. Like
It's insane.
besides being 30 more points than a carnivore and worse in every way, like they're still really good.
So,
really...
so keep this in mind. My greater demons that have like 20 wounds are only 5 OC.
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh, really?
Yeah, you would expect like 8, right?
Yeah.
But no.
Yeah, and Morax is OC8. The Caladius is OC4. That's like the highest OC that Custodes have.
Wait, I think the point is that the dogs are supposed to represent knight troops, so they're like probably like double the OC of what they should be, which is like 4. Yeah,
Yep.
I guess that makes sense. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, so it's a bit much. I mean, I
Mhm.
think because they should like if a Morax runs up and charges into
Oh
like
no, it has assault. I thought it had 20. Sorry.
runs up into like intercessors or something, like it should be able it should be able to kill 3 and then be out OC them by 1 or but it's I don't know, it's unbalanced, but
Yeah.
for 170 for the Morax, they're really good counter. The conversion beamers are awful, all their guns are awful, but they're and they move 12, but they're fast, like they're just really fast, and they're a good threat, and make them deal with them, and then they just kind of have to ignore the Custodes blob. Like, what are you going to deal with? And then there's something else to punch tanks and get on objectives.
Yeah,
So they performed great.
Yeah, that Chaos Knight list ran like 4 of those. The carnivores, which are
Yeah.
literally almost the same profile, but they can phase through walls.
No. I'm building 6. I'm building 6 carnivores right now. They move 14 instead of 12. They have 6 attacks instead of 4.
Yeah, well, they hit better. Yeah,
and they hit on 2s.
Yeah, they're actually.
And they also have the chains like axe saw thing, so they can do 12 attacks, 8, 2, 1, or 6, 12, 3, D6 plus 2, hitting on 2s. And they're 30 points less.
They could just phase. They could just phase through the wall, and they
140 points. Yeah, for 1 CP, 2 of them can go and charge or move through walls.
I think I've hit a soft spot.
I actually.
That's why I'm building 6 right now.
I gotta be honest. I had a dumb moment. I was like, what the hell? Why aren't carnivores in the app? They spell carnivore with a K.
Yeah,
welcome GW.
Chaos. They're tricky.
Yeah.
So yeah, and they have the Havoc launcher also for the carnivore, like a good out of line of sight gun.
Wait, so you have the carnivore has only the 2, like the only options it has are the 2 melee weapons.
Yeah.
So you would never ever use the Reaper Chain Talon. You're only using it for the sweep, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Because the claw is just better.
It's 10-2-3 or something with the
10-3-3, yeah.
10-3-3, but the
claw is 12-3.
The claw is 12-3 D6 plus 2,
which is minimum 3. So okay.
It's way better. Yeah.
And then to add a little spicing onto it, it doesn't have like a indirect little.
It has a Havoc launcher. Yeah. 48-inch range D6 blast.
Oh my gosh, 48 inches.
501.
Yeah.
Indirect.
Yeah, I had to deal with everything having.
I didn't realize it was 48 inches. I assumed it'd be like 24.
Yeah, like in my Chaos Knight list, he was just like, shoot the whole board. And
it's range the board. Exactly.
Oh my god.
So against the Death Watch, it was really close. It was back and forth. We both rolled like ass secondaries turn 1 and 2, and it was close. We're trading back and forth basically, and then I started to go for his back objective, and we were traded. He dropped 10 Terminators down like in my behind my deployment zone, and then this is the only time that Eisenhorn did something, because he has an ability where he at the beginning of the opponent's shooting phase, he can try to stop them from shooting on a 2 through 5, 1 infantry unit within 12, and you have to be able to see them. On a 2 through 5, it's -1 to hit.
Oh, changeling, yeah.
On a 1, you zap yourself.
Yeah.
And on a 6, they can't shoot at all.
Right. Dominate Will, I think, is the name of the move.
Yeah, it's a dominate. Yeah. So he so the Terminators come over, and I ran his unit out of prosecutors as a screen so he couldn't get to the Caladius on the objective. And then in his turn, I was like, okay, you start in shooting phase. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna shoot the Terminators. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna roll. I'm gonna dominate you. And I'm like, the one time I did it, what do you think I rolled?
A one.
A 1, or I rolled a 6. And I was like,
Oh.
oh, your
So
unit
so
can't
here's the
shoot.
funny
Can't
part.
even
He
shoot.
just here's the funny part is that he just said he ran a psyker out with prosecutor.
Yeah, right?
That is true. Yeah, I
Isn't that crazy? Well,
I just picture like Chris slapping on like a leather mask or something and goes, "I will dominate you now," like BDSM style.
Yeah.
Like I will dominate you now.
with the red gag too thing. Yeah, perfect. I would do it. Yeah.
Um,
So I felt bad because it was so close, and like he was the nicest guy. He was the funnest opponent to play against, and we were just destroying both of each other's armies. So yeah, so that stopped the Terminators from doing anything. Basically, they had to go through the whole melee turn to get the kill the prosecutors to get and then pile into the Caladius, and then 3 rounds in the Caladius did nothing, or they couldn't kill a Caladius even with Terminators.
mhm.
So with -1 to hit, and then they're hitting on 5s or something with Power Fists. It's crazy. I don't
That's a
know.
good point.
It was
And I'm
just
assuming
bad.
he didn't oaths the Caladius because
He did like turn 5 and he killed 1, but there was 2, and the other
Oh,
one
yeah.
was like screening on there, and he eventually got it. But then I got on his objective, and I got good secondaries like assassinate, and I finally killed his attack marine and on his back objective, and traded. So I ended up both rolled about a lot of bad secondaries. So it ended up 62-45, a low win, but it was a really fun game.
good.
Eisenhorn
Sick, dude.
won the game for me.
The
Fuck yeah.
Eisenhorn is wacky. So I've been trying to. I actually think that Imperial henchmen might be kind of underlooked
They're super insane.
as a unit, because they got some really wacky stat lines. But Eisenhorn, he has like a 3 damage precision mind blast attack or
Yeah.
something. I was curious why you weren't running Kyria Draxus, the chick with the dragon.
The little dragon.
Yeah,
I
she's
haven't
cute.
assembled her yet.
Okay.
I have her and
as
the
well.
other, like the one with the crossbow, and whatever reason she has a
Great
crossbow.
facts.
I have them. I just haven't assembled them. But I love Dan Abnett books and Eisenhorn, and I have like the Artel
All the
W
book
like
series,
demon
yeah.
host, and that I'm
Yeah.
painting. So I'm gonna run the henchman, and I have a custom like Jacaro too and stuff. So I'm gonna
Sick, dude.
have the whole
Oh, yeah.
henchman squad with them for sure.
I
I'm waiting for the
I just finished Xenos, the first Eisenhorn book.
nice. I
Yeah.
love those books.
Oh, you finally just started reading them?
Yeah, so
They're pretty good,
dude,
yeah.
it's just James Bond.
It's so good.
It's literally just James Bond. It's great, but it's like identical. They even have this scene with him on the big slab, like we're gonna get you to talk kind of Eisenhorn's great. But it's also voiced by Toby Longworth for the audiobooks.
He's a
and he's-
great audio
It's
guy.
so good. He does all the Gaunt's Ghost books too, so I'm really stoked with
Yeah.
him.
Yeah, they're good. books.
Awesome. So you won the match against the
Yep.
Hell yeah, dude. Demons number 4.
All right. Zeech said, I taketh, and then all of a sudden here's the gift of knowledge for the demons, he said to me. And kind of clicked a little bit. I started to figure out a little bit of stuff. I got a cool little Garrett motion picture I can show a little bit of the game. It's really cool. But essentially, I learned that you kind of just screen your backfield. You put the big one is you just make your charges, and then you win the game. That's literally the truth.
I believe
That's
you.
so the truth. But I kind of learned in like from the past couple games playing is that I take my OC guys, I kind of push pink horrors, I push whatever up a little bit, and then I screen out my backfield until they get any important deep strike guys out, and then it's like a second reserve. I start putting it into deep strike and then placing on the board essentially, and I start moving my chess pieces around the board at that point. Okay, let me jump back. I played CSM. That was my first. I was playing CSM, and he had like a Zeech theme to it. So it was like there's some pretty funny stuff that happened. Yeah, make the charge, easy clap, right?
Yeah. This makes life much better.
But I was playing CSM and I was actually terrified. I was like, oh shit, this is like CSM's tough. And they running a blitz, they got indirect, they can hit like a truck. I'm like, oof. So he was running a squad of 4 blitz and a squad of 2 blitz. He was running 2 Forge Fiends. What was it 2 Forge Fiends? He was running a 5-man Terminator squad with a little sorcerer for the CP regen. He was running the 20. Obviously, of course, you run the 20-man cultist squad with all that stuff. And
yeah, the dark commune and the cursed cultists.
Of course, yeah, you ran all that, and then he ran blue horrors as well because they have infiltrate, which is pretty cool. They're actually really good unit with that. So essentially, like I said, is he dropped his blitz. He tried shooting Bellicor, and Bellicor kind of tanked it, and then I just moved in and with the Lord of Change and Bellicor and pretty much killed that squad. And then I essentially dropped Shalaxi and Scarbrand in the backfield. This was kind of like to show you where I kind of dropped stuff at is the little video right here. Let's see if I can find
Ooh,
it.
cinematics.
Yeah, it's brought to you by Garrett. It's here we go here. Full screen this bad boy. All right, so this is like the mid playo. So essentially, this is kind of how the board looked after this.
That's beautiful terrain. Who painted that?
Oh, yeah.
Who did?
Great question.
So funny story. I got a funny story about Scarbrand right here. So Scarbrand, right, goes. So so he had a blue scribe over there. I dropped it, and then I just took over that, and then that was kind of the finished product right there. And so that was kind of the setup for the battlefield. And this is where I started kind of taking over. I put my pink horrors where that huge mass is at, essentially. And they kind of held that objective. And then Chilaxi came in and started fucking shit up. And then I took over the far right one and killed this blue scribe and then just kind of sat there. He took my Lord of Change down to like 1 wound. And I just like, all right, you're going to sit in the backfield. So funny story. Scarbrand, right, charges into a Forge Fiend. And this was such a Zinch thing. It was so funny. So he does his 8 attacks. They're massive, 6 damage, -4, like 16 strength. Rolls so hot, he fails 1. So it's on 6 wounds left. I had to save 2, saved 7. I was like, shit. Here's the Zeech. So Zeech gives him the save. Bellicor has the fallback of leadership. Rolls Snake Eyes. Can't fall back.
Oh, right. You can't. You have to take a test.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And so
in order to fall back.
Yep. So essentially, what happened is I ended up killing that, and then went to his back line and took over his back objective, killed everything over there. Shalaxi just murdered like murderers. Eventually, I took Bellicor over to the other side, and I didn't realize I kind of took over the game pretty hard, but I did. And but the opponent was super fun guy, super cool.
I fought him a few times.
He's really cool. We were talking. He's a really cool guy, and he was very fluffy, and he was like, as in like his like lore and stuff like that. He brought like some AOS models for like Zinch stuff, and I was like, dude, you're super cool. I like you. And the final score was like 27-95 on like a very low scoring primary mission.
That is a little rough.
But hey, you make your charges. And,
you make your charges and things die.
Yes, who would have known? But dude, Lord of Change. I mean, not Lord of Change. Fate Weaver. Just the indirect spam just is absolutely super insane. There'll be like a thing coming up too in my next match with him. But just 24 inches indirect hitting on 2s, just like 2d6 damage and 9 strength. So you're wounding everything on like 3s or 2s that you want to kill that are like kind of elite, and you're just like dead. Kill 3 or 4 models out of this unit. 3 or 4 models out of this unit. And it's just like absolutely insane. And then you get a Vect and you get CP regen. So you're just like turn 1. You're just like, all right, I make my home objective sticky. All right, for free. It's actually so good. He's so good for 285 points.
That is really, really good.
I have a question for everybody. Who got vected this weekend? I know I did.
I did.
I just
vected everybody else.
See,
I
I got vected by the vect. I got vected by Jukari.
Oh my god!
but
the real,
every single time I
real
got
OG.
vected was on my command reroll, and I never used it again
I-
after that.
I also got vected on my command reroll.
I told my opponent to vect my command reroll the one vect that someone had because that's the only thing that it works on for me.
I
I
told
use it a lot. I have to use it all the time. So
Isn't your -1 damage a battle tactic?
it's already 2 CP. You're never using it
Oh,
more
yeah.
than once a game.
That's true.
I don't have CP. I'm a Custodes player.
I told
That's
people
true.
to vect my my strategic reserve pop.
Yeah.
It's 1 CP goes to 2.
It's
You
a battle
hardly do it.
tactic.
Yep.
Oh.
It's demons actually have like 3 or 4 battle tactics. It's actually insane.
Do you don't even have any like free CP strat or like abilities though, do you?
Me?
I don't think demons
I
have
have Fate Weaver, which makes it free. Everything's 1 CP. I just anything. Okay, so the way Fate Weaver works is that when you use him, I love the lore of it. It's so fluffy. I love it. So
Yeah.
the battle round it is if you use on him or a friendly Tzeentch unit within 6 inches of him, if you use a strategy, you roll a d6. If it's higher than the battle round, then you gain a CP. So it's essentially free. That's the way it works. So that's like kind of my CP gen I had in it, and it was awesome. It's super good for like early game. It's like insane.
Yeah.
And then you have flamers around you, so it's like not necessarily like you can only do it once. It's every single time you can keep doing it until you score that CP. So it's pretty cool.
Isn't grenade battle tactic?
No, it's war gear.
Oh yeah, it's war gear.
Also, real quick, Iron Warrior Hanzu gave a $5 super chat and said, "What's up, Briggy Crew? We're here to talk about our saviors, obliterators."
Fuck, man, those things scared me.
Those
and
things
killed
are
them.
insane.
Surprisingly,
me.
there wasn't that many CSM.
I played 2 back in a row.
Yeah, you did.
I think there was less CSM because it was the charity tournament and people were kind of
true,
bringing their fun stuff.
Yeah, well, also too, the championship was going on in Atlanta.
Yeah, yeah, it's true. That's true. It's the same
Yeah.
weekend.
Yeah, that
Becky, what
opponent
was your?
great.
Oh, your opponent. Wait, what was
No,
that?
that opponent that Garrett played, I've known him for like 10 years. I've only played him
He's
once.
such a good guy, dude.
He's such a nice guy, and it's very,
Yeah.
very strong name. Also, much
Oh,
stronger
yeah.
than Garrett.
Aw.
Oh, right, his name's Chris. I forgot. Yeah, no, I played him 3 times. I played him like pre 9th Codex CSM. I played him at Del Mar for the SoCal Open, and I played him again. I don't remember where, but yeah, I've literally played him 3 times, and he's always running CSM, or like he ran like a mono Tzeentch one time. He was super fun.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, he loves it
Super
too.
chill.
Yeah.
Demeki, what was your 4th?
My 4th and no, I already did my 4th. 4th was Nids. I'm on 5.
Demeki, what was your 5th?
My 5th and final match was Votann.
Oh yeah, it
Again.
was.
And this game, Morty slapped. Morty slapped hard. So he didn't have an infantry heavy list like Bricky did. He had bikes, he had buggies, he did have Terminators. I think he had like 2 5-mans. Everything was like in 5-mans, where Bricky's like running around with like max squad units. And then he had 2 of the big buggies, the fortress. What are they called?
Land Fortress.
Land fortresses.
The Hackathon Land Fortresses.
He messed up pretty hard at the player terrain phase, because like as he was placing terrain, I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna put terrain here, and there's no that handles that firing lane. Because like me, I'm just like I got mortars, like I don't care. So like, and then I'm doing my shenanigans to set up my
Shenanigans.
rhinos on the battle line, right? I got the rhinos inside the terrain so they can't be shot at. And he did the same thing you did, which was he picked the Plague Marines, which is the correct call. Like, pick the Plague Marines for the double token. And then I think he picked like Mortarion in a PBC.
So about the same.
Yeah, about the same. This time though, I did not get out until I think turn 2 or 3. And by that time, like, I had killed like a lot of stuff. Morty killed a land fortress by himself. He one-shotted it, which I was like, oh, he did something. I was just like, oh, Morty, what are you doing? Are you trying to impress Daddy finally? Thank you.
Oh yeah, because like a land fortress like 16 wounds and you're flat 4 damage.
Yeah, flat 4, 5 attacks.
Yeah, like AP 3, and then you're reducing a save by 1. So
Yep. So it just went like right through.
Yeah,
and it was just like boom, popped. Yeah, Morty put in work that game. PBC's put in work. Also, another Lord of Virulence comes down, gets me some points, and then like he went to go deal with it. He killed something, and then he's like, all right, well, I'm just gonna leave him alone. So like Lord of Virulence is just chilling back there. We kind of did the same thing. I did plunging fire, right, with the foated blow drones and their guns again. But he did the same thing with his little baby carrier guys, or exosuit.
they're exosuits, sir.
Yeah, whatever, baby carrier.
Yeah, the Thunderkin. Yeah.
Yeah, so he put those up high. He also like had one of them that was like the anti-vehicle unit, like in
Gravitons,
reserves, and like they came out, but they didn't really like do anything. And like by then I was already scoring so many points. And then I clocked him. So
yeah, he ran out of time.
yeah, he ran out of time.
Gotcha. The
Yeah.
those
Dick
graviton
over
dudes
there.
are those graviton dudes are a little scary, but you need the right way to fire.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, and then is the Plagueburst Crawler, like everybody, like I tell my opponent at the beginning, I'm like, Plagueburst Crawler is T10, 2-up armor save, 5-up invul. Like I tell everyone that, and I'm like, it's 12 wounds.
It's a demon
And they
machine.
all forget because they'll fire at it with like AP1, and I'm like, all right, I'm saving on 3s.
Yeah, it's the 2-up I always forget about. The
Yeah.
5-up and the T10, whatever. It's the 2-up. I'm just like, damn, dude.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. It's just like a thick beetle, but you know.
Yep. Oh yeah.
I gotta go shit myself.
Okay.
I'm Chris or
Who-
Garrett, you guys start yours.
Yeah.
So the Plagueburst is
I won
almost as
80
good as a Caladius, is what you're
Yeah,
saying.
yeah. And I ended up winning that one 83-39. He's getting some Vosa.
Some Vosa.
Garrett, you go.
Okay.
Garrett.
Oh, go dude. Good dude. So I played CSM again. Hype, dude, great opponent. Love the dude. He essentially, this one was the list. He actually was playing Night Lords, dude. He was like bricky, and so he was bringing the Night Lords list, and I was like, respect, dude. But me and him just had absolute blast. Great opponent. Can't get over how awesome he was. So he was bringing a 10 Chosen, 10 Jump Pack like Raptor Boys, 10 Terminators with Abaddon, and he brought who's the dude that was like the Dark Angel dude that turned to Chaos?
Cypher.
Oh,
Cypher.
Yeah.
He brought a
We don't know
Cypher.
for
He was a
sure,
fucking
yeah.
baller.
Yeah.
He's sick.
Yeah.
Story
he was
could
a-
change.
Yeah, and
It's
then he
fluid.
brought woo. And he brought Noise Marines. He brought kind of just like just basic Legionnaires and stuff like that. He brought like a Sorcerer Lord for just CP generation vibes. I don't know, something like that. Anywho, so the game happened, and he brought like the Greater Possessed or whatever, the big guys. So this is where the Fate Weaver is actually kind of low-key really insane. So he moves his guys up, and I move like 12 inches, and I'm like, all right, indirect, you're possessed. Kills like all 5 of them. And I'm like, thank God that wing, that flank is fine now. He moved his Rhino up into like try to get into the center, and I'm like, all right, I have to kill this Rhino if I want to win this game. I feel like that was like the biggest thing.
I'm sorry. You just see Dwicky's
Yeah, I
thing.
just saw that.
Dude,
I
that
just
was
saw
the
that.
quickest shit I've ever seen. I pissed myself. My apologies.
He has different pants on too, if you knows.
At least he's wearing pants.
All right. Anyway,
So-
what were we doing?
He moved out his his Rhino, and I'm like, I have to pop that bitch so hard because I dropped Bellicor in the I had Bellicor in the center. I moved him up to the center. I dropped Shalaxi. I dropped Scarbrand, and I'm like, I have to go in. I have to like kill this Rhino, otherwise one of these boys are dying. And I did it, and I was able to pop his Rhino, and I charged in Bellicor and Shalaxi into his 10-man of Chosen, and I charged Scarbrand into like the last. No, I didn't kill. It was like one possessed left, so I charged him into the possessed. Crazy, you make charges, you kind of win the game. So I go in, pretty much wipe all of the Chosen except for like 2 dudes. He moves his Raptors up on the side, and he can't really do too much. It seems like, because like he goes in, and then I take my pink horrors out, and I just drop them. I drop him on that objective 3 inches away from him and take the objective, and then he tries to come into my greater demons, and it's like you get Nurglings and Shalaxi right there, so you're going to 3 attacks, hitting on 4s. And I was like, real much you could do. And then he drops the Terminators of Abaddon on the left side, and Scarbrand goes into it. I finally get to use Epic Challenge, 1-tap Abaddon, and then I popped Lord of Fate. Fate Weaver into Strategic Reserves, and then dropped him 3 inches onto the backfield on his home objective, and Mind Psyker fucked stuff up. And that was kind of how the game went. He was able to kill Scarbrand, which was really cool. We had a lot of fun with that. He popped it off, and then I kind of took over that game. I didn't realize how hard I took over it again until the end, and but we were having so much fun there that game no matter what, and we were like trying to set up like these cool little action shots and shit like that. It was pretty cool. Like here's one of them right now is let me see. We were just like having the funnest of times. Shit, I don't even know if I have it up. See if that pops up. See if I can. It's not working. Whatever. So, anywho, long story short, it was like 25 to 97, but it was a super fun game. Really good opponent.
Why do you say it like that?
She feels bad.
Yeah.
Hey,
but it was such a cool guy, and I like he was just a really cool guy, and like I was like, oh fuck, dude, I feel so bad. This is a big score. But
it makes a good question for next tournament if you bring demons again, because it sounds like you've learned, and
I think that I kind of figured out a little bit. It's called making charges. I know I repeat it, but so I find that demons are a lot of like, you got to strike for the artery essentially, and you got to put your pieces where you need to put them, and make like pretty good strikes at it to kill, like to weaken them. This has definitely, after those 2 games, was like, okay, this is kind of fun. I kind of want to like actually play this a little bit more. I have RTT coming up December 16th, which is like 22 players. So I feel like that's gonna be fun to take a kind of improved list and see how it goes on that one. So yeah, there's a few changes I'm thinking about making on it to see how it plays. So I'm super curious to see where this goes.
Oh yeah.
I'm also hoping LVO, the new data slate, demons get price drops, and then they're real good.
How are demons bad right now?
They're like mid tier.
I think they're like at 50, like exact or something.
Hold
like
on,
that.
I've got it. Hold on.
You got it?
Chaos Demons, where are you? They're 48%.
Okay, so a little under. But doesn't GW say
Dude,
like
there's a-
47 to 53 they're okay with, or whatever
Yeah,
it is?
they want the sweet spot. I think they said was like 47 to 53 or whatever. Like,
So
that's not too
I
bad.
tried dropping their stuff by the day 1 by losing 3 games, so I could bring them down. So I
Hell
get
yeah. Yeah, the
See,
long-
big brain
the
here,
long-
big
yeah.
brain.
yo, your Black Templars are in third, 55%.
So here's
Yeah,
the thing that's
Templars.
interesting at Templars. No. So the Templars are fucking right now because of the Ironstorm detachment. There was like 2 guys in like the top 4 that were like the Ironstorm, and I don't.
Isn't Ironstorm the thing that they classify it as though? Isn't it classified
No,
as
they classify.
Ironstorm?
Nope, they classify it as Black Templars.
Yeah, so if
That's
you go in,
weird.
yeah, it's
Weird.
stupid
That's
because then
weird,
that means you
yeah.
have access to the Black Templar stratagems
Mm-hmm.
and those.
No,
Wait,
no, no, no,
no,
no,
no,
no.
you don't get
Ironstorm is
those.
his own thing. No, no, no. So
Yeah.
the reason why people are taking Black Templar Ironstorm is because they get extra multi meltas on everything for
Yeah.
like extra 5
Yeah, the
points.
Ironstorm Spearhead.
No,
Yeah.
no. So
You don't get the detachment for Righteous
yeah.
Crusader.
You
Oh,
take
you don't.
you
you
take
talk-
the
yeah.
detachment, but you're taking it's like how the guy who ran Space Wolves took
Okay.
Gladius against Chris.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah,
It's literally just because they staple a multi-melta on every tank. So
Yeah.
it's like, why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
So Black Templars to me they're strong. Don't get me wrong. I think they're like almost like S tier, but there's just such hard counters to them, in my opinion, that it's like, yeah. And I think the Ironstorm list is like giving them that extra boost because they're so hard to deal with.
Dude, that's that's what's getting confusing too now, because like when you select, because you can select Black Templar and you can, I just did it a second ago, and then you select whatever detachment you're taking from Space Marines book. Like, I'm wondering if they're looking at that when they're going to make the next data slate, because it's not necessarily a Black Templar or like Space Wolves or even Dark Angels type problem. It's a Space Marine problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's really interesting is if you take Black Templar and CSM, right? So CSM, in my opinion, it's a Black Templar, but with way more flexibility and way faster. Because a lot of your top lists are running like 210 Chosens and Rhinos, which are like Sword Brethren. They're running Oblits, which are like your Redemptors or like your stuff like that, with like mad squads of like the Dark Commune stuff. So CSM is definitely way like better than them because of that reason, in my opinion, because they have the flexibility for lethal hits, sustain hits, and then they have the just absolute crazy mobility with Chosen.
I don't hate like CSM are obviously dominant right now. I'm really shocked they gave them a points drop on Chosen before, because that turned us into the meta we have now with all the Rhinos. But I'm at least happy that CSM are good for like a non-cheesy reason. Like all their lists look like an army. You know,
Yeah,
it's,
no,
it's
totally.
not like because I right now I think Space Marines right now like overall are mostly fine. The Ironstorm attachment is just ridiculous. It's insane with the amount of like it's just like triple Redemptor, like Gladiator, Repulsor, which are always just annoying lists to fight.
Yeah, so
but
I'm
it's
looking
nice to
at
see that.
I'm looking at the World Championship right now, and it's like 8 and 9 are Black Templars GTF.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, that's like, and then knowing GW, they're gonna look at it and they're like, all right, all your units need to go up now. And you're like, man,
Yeah. Or it's
stop.
anyway. Chris, what was your number 5?
All right, my number 5 was against Imperial Knights. So it was a Dice Hammer player that I needed to clap back on here, because I played him at the first RTT of 10th with the Imperial Knights, and they were like, reroll, like, what do they have? They had something for sustained hit 6s or something for everything, and they had reroll 1s where it was like everything still, and they could Overwatch with a Titan, right, with the super heavy. So
right, they have like the Feel No Pain, but they have like reroll 1 hit 1 wound right now or something like that, right?
So now they destroyed them, like they nerfed the crap out of them. I don't even know if it was this edition, but like Knights should be able to, like, they could fall back, shoot, and charge. Like they should always have that. Like that makes no sense to not be able to fall back, shoot, and charge with a big Knight. And they don't have the Titanic doesn't give you that anymore. Like you can fall back.
You can still
and
shoot
go
out of
over
combat, though.
infantry.
Can't you?
You what?
You can still shoot out of combat though, can't you?
You can shoot out of combat, yeah.
Okay.
But you can't fall back and charge again, and you can't fall back and shoot at all.
Right.
Which, like, for a Knight, like, come on, you should be able to fall back and shoot. And so yeah, he in the RTT he had the Fort Feel No Pain on the Warden unit with Trajan with 6 Wardens before, and he shot his whole entire army at me and killed the whole unit of Wardens, which no one has ever done before or after that. Like, and now they're 5 Wardens, and then in my turn I moved Trajan. He's like, you sure you want to move Trajan? I'm like, well, no, should I just not play the game? Like, and he's like, I moved Trajan, and then he the big knight before had 6s like explode and re-roll everything. So he in Overwatch he killed Trajan with his big knight in my turn in the RTT, and now he can't do any of that anymore.
Oh, this was
So
the old.
it
This was
felt-
the old one.
Yeah, this was the first time. So I was
Okay.
like, oh my god, it felt so bad. And then now they over nerfed Imperial Knights like way too much.
They hit pretty
so
hard.
so I took fixed against him, bring it down and cleanse, and this was Sites of Power. So and he has one character, which is he has 2 big knights and they're shooty only, and then he has like the rest 8 or whatever armigers. And so one of his big knights is a character, so that's the only Sites of Power he can get. So I put terrain so that he like couldn't shoot at anything turn 1. And I can move my infantry just right up in the middle and and I have 4 characters to be on Sites of Power. So basically we just trade around, and he killed my Morax, failed at like an 8-inch charge turn 1. And then turn 2, the Blade Wizard squad deep struck, and Trajan had like a 7-inch charge on his character knight. And then my Morax and another unit were there, and I was like, if I make this first charge, like, let's see how this goes. It was like a 6-inch charge. I'm like, I fail these all the time. And I rolled a 12 on my first charge with the Morax into his armiger. And I was like, okay, this is how this is going to go. And then the Blade Wizard rolled a 10 with his first, or 11 with his first roll. He has free rerolls into an armiger, which was right next to his big shooting knight on his home objective. So I'm like, okay, I just won the game, because he's just going to pile into that. And
You can't leave.
And he can't leave or do anything, and even if he shoots at me in combat -1, like, he's not even going to kill that unit. And he in his whole shooting phase, turn 2, he went first. He killed 1 warden in the Blade Wizard squad, which I just brought back the next turn. And then Trajan made his charge into the other big knight, and I did them first, and I did Trajan's full attacks, and I killed that knight, and I killed the armiger, and I piled into his big knight, and he did like 1 wound. He did no wounds. The big knight, the shooting knight, it has 4 stomps.
Yeah, it's like 4 hits, like 822. It's nothing.
I was like, what? Like, it used to have 8, and I was like, what? In AP 0? I was like, I'm sorry, man. And he was like, yeah.
Wait, is it AP
Okay.
0?
He was like, yeah. I think it's 0. It might be 1 or something, but
it's 1. Yeah,
it's
yeah.
bad.
Oh, they hit
It's
on
bad.
4s.
It hit on 4.
8,
It's
1,
stepping
2.
on me. Like, you can't step on me. Like, 50% miss with your giant foot. Like, so I was like, all right. So I killed like the 1 big knight, and then I locked the other one, and I killed like 3 armigers that turn, and he ended up killing like 2 or 3 of my models. Like, he killed 2 of my armigers, and like I think just the 1 warden or 2 wardens at the end by the end of the game, and he had 2 armigers in the corners. And the Caladius just like totally whiffed that game, but I lost like 3 models, and so I felt bad, but I did owe him, so it's okay.
I didn't realize that they stomped that poorly.
Yeah, I was like, oh, this might hurt. I'm like, I'll use my feel no pain, and then he's like, he has 4 attacks. I was like, oh my god, that's not good. I was like, I feel bad. I'm like, you can fall back and shoot and charge, though. He's like, I don't think so. I'm like, wait, what? And then we looked at the rule, and it doesn't have it anymore. I'm like, oh god.
I don't hate the not falling back, shooting and charging, but I hate it because the feet attacks are so bad.
Yeah,
because like you would assume that he'd be able to at least trounce a couple of guys to get rid of the damn stragglers, you know.
Yeah.
But like charging in a knight with like 10 guardsmen and being like, well, you can kill max 4, but statistically you kill 2.
Yeah,
like,
because even
great.
then too, like 8, it's strength 8.
No, not even
Strength
yeah.
8.
Strength 8. So
AP
like
1.
even if he tank shocks, it's 8.
No,
Yeah.
if you charge him with guardsmen and he hits twice and he wounds twice, but the guardsmen have like you can get a feel no pain in your guardsman squad too, and put it on like the mortar with 3 damage, so you can't even kill 1 model with a knight, with a 500 point knight. Like that's pretty silly.
Yeah, or I think Morris have 2 health, but like the 6 of feel no pain, and AP 1 gives him a 6 up armor, so it's 6s to 6s. Like you might just save your guy.
Might not even kill 1 like 1 guardsman. Like that's a little weird. It felt bad.
It's one of the reasons I kind of like the Knight Crusader, because it has the Gatling cannon, which is 18 shots at 622, and I'm like, oh, that'll deal with the guardsmen.
I need to
Just
get
like-
my brigands built and painted before
Yeah.
they get point height.
Yeah, the brigands will do it for sure with that
Yeah.
12
Brigands
shot
are nasty.
611 and the havoc. Oh,
When
Dude,
I was
praise
God.
chaos. Praise chaos.
Dude, when you were
Yeah.
going over the carnivore stat lines, I was like, damn, this thing must be like 180, and it's like 140. I'm like,
It's 140.
Oh,
It's
Yeah.
insane.
that's so
And-
not okay.
And people are running like only 4. I'm like, I'm running 6 and 2 brigands and like a couple more acts just because I have them, and then
You
demons.
just take
like
the character too with like the sticky objective, and you're like,
that's
hey, I
a
got sticky
brigand. Yeah,
objective.
the brigands are characters. So one is gonna have -1 AP, and the other one's gonna have sticky objectives, and then he'll stay in the back, and then he can move back and screen your deep strikes, and then still be holding that objective.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And the other one can run up and do mid board stuff and have -1 AP.
Knight Errant is the stabby one, yeah. No, that's the Gallant. Never mind. Knight Gallant is the stabby one. Yeah, okay, never mind. Oh yeah, my 5th game. Necrons. Woo! Let's go. The guy wanted me specifically to say this out loud. He thinks that the Ghost Arcs and Doomsday Arcs look fucking stupid, and he thinks anyone who runs them is stupid because he thinks they look like stupid flying rib cages. So his list was hilarious. When I sat down to that game and I read his list, I was like, I think I got this one, mainly because he had 9 Locust heavy destroyers.
Man.
A couple like small little Locust regular destroyers, the 10 Brick of Lichguard with all the fun stuff, Nightbringer and Void Dragon.
Let's go.
Yeah, and then Reanimator, obviously. I tokened both the Catan, I tokened the Lichguard, and I tokened 1 squad of Locust Heavies. Locust Heavy Destroyers absolutely rip. They're like strength 14, AP 4, damage 6. But he was teching for an Ironstorm detachment. I had a 50 Hearthguard, so it wasn't quite ready for that. The game basically went as you'd expect. I tied up his Catans. I killed the Nightbringer with my Terminators and the like. The Void Dragon survived. Oh no, he had the Transcendent too. Sorry, he didn't have the Void Dragon. He had the Transcendent with the 4-up Feel No Pain, which is unkillable. Don't even bother touching that thing. It's basically, it's genuinely unkillable. It's like T11, 12 or 13 wounds, half damage, 4-up invul, 4-up Feel No Pain, and then reanimation.
Reanimates,
like,
yeah.
you just can't do it.
Yeah, you need Trajan is what you need. That's the only thing that can do it.
Like even then, dude, he's insane.
You
He's
need
insane.
like a full squad of like Sword Brethren hitting on like
Yeah,
everything.
yeah.
But anyway, it was what, like, all of his stuff came down and shot a lot, but it just doesn't have the volume. And so I eventually end up taking out pretty much all of his Locust Heavies. And then my Terminators fought the Lich Guard in the center of the board for the entire fucking game. I killed maybe 30 Lich Guard. He rolled, he's like, oh, you killed like 6 Lich Guard. All right, I'm gonna reanimate. And he always rolled double like double 3s. So he always rolled 6s. I think he genuinely regened 6 wounds, maybe 5 times. It's like 3 Lich Guard back.
Holy shit.
And then he'd hit me back and do like, maybe he'd kill 1 Terminator. And then he'd reanimate, like, all right, Resorb, here come 2 more Lich Guard. And then we fight again, and I'd kill 3 more Lich Guard. He'd be like, here's 2 more Lich Guard. And I genuinely think I killed 30 Lich Guard. And at the end of the game, I had like 5 Terminators still in that squad, and he had max Lich Guard again.
So you got tar pitted.
Yeah, but I had behind my Terminators, I had Hearthkin holding the objective with 2 OC.
Yeah.
So yeah, the entire game, they just slugged themselves out, and it did nothing. It did nothing. I won on points, and I didn't do bad for I didn't do bad in killing 82 to 66. It was just silly. Like the Lich Guard brick, outside of things like Sword Brethren, is basically unkillable. Or like the 10 possessed bomb with the Master of Possession.
Yeah.
Like it's basically unkillable. And so
you need precision. Votann doesn't have any precision, right?
Oh, yeah. Actually,
yeah.
there's a good point that just came up right there. You remember the?
I do. So that was a great. So I did do that. So I took Uthar. Uthar is like the most dog shit character I've ever seen. Never take him. But I took him, and I was like, all right, epic challenge. 5 attacks at 632, dev wounds. All right, I'm gonna kill the Technomancer because his crypto thralls were already dead. And then he's like, okay, but I have the 1 CP strat to revive him from death. Necrons have that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, does that get him back in the unit? Or is he out? Because it says like outside the unit. So I went to Nick and I was like, hey, what's up? And he's like, I don't know. So he looked it up and we still couldn't find the answer because the ruling said immediate revival and it said outside of an inch of enemy models, not outside of engagement range of enemy models. And his Lich Guard was still in an engagement range of it. It was a whole thing. We ended up rolling, as you saw of all debates, you roll a 4-up. And on a 4-up, he stays in the unit. So he stayed in the unit. So I didn't epic challenge him or anything. But yeah, epic challenging the Technomancer would have been the smart call. But he had the CP to reanimate and to bring him back alive.
Oof.
And I think he does stay in the unit at the end of the day. It was just a really
I
complicated
should,
thing.
But
It was just a really weird interaction. But yeah, I think he does stay in the unit. So that was the final call. But I still won on points. It was just like Tarp at the Lich Guard unit. He's probably spent 5 CP just reanimating the Lich Guard unit every turn. Next to the reanimator, I couldn't get to the reanimator. His big Locust heavies are scary, but when they're firing at Hearthguard, who gives a shit? And yeah, Votann don't really have precision. So yeah, 6th place, best Xenos. Let's go.
15th.
Let's go.
16th.
Hey.
3rd best painted.
Yeah, the real
Sixteenth
medal.
with the worst army. Oh,
Yeah,
dude,
and then I guess for our listeners and people watching, Death Guard won the tournament. Yeah.
DG did win.
Yeah, Daniel
XPZ.
Yeah, from XPZ.
Yep.
Really good Death Guard player.
I see him around all the time and I never fight him. Probably because he's at top tables and I'm not.
Yeah, probably.
But
yeah, he did run the 3 brigands with Nurglings, Deathshroud Terminators, Biologus, Putrefiers, a bunch of Plague
Chaos
Marines, Chaos Lords. He was pooping out mortal wounds like nobody's business.
Real quick, Bloodberry gave $3 and said, maybe a hot take, but I don't think Divergent chapters should be able to use vanilla Marine detachments. I agree, but
I'm fair with that too. Yeah.
I think it's okay for now, but once like Dangles gets their codex, then we'll cut out.
Then
we'll
you're
cut
stuck.
out the rest.
Yeah, you should be.
I think there will probably be something like that. I think that even then, I still think like you have a codex that's like your thing, like White Scars, Iron Fist, like that kind of stuff. You don't have a codex or an index, so you shouldn't. In my opinion, like I totally understand having all those options, but like if you have like an index, then
it's its own thing. Also, the N1234. Yes, I did go into Lewis's Imp Guard. He was my game 1. I want to play Imp Guard, man. All right. So here's the question: you're going to your next tournament. What do you want to run? Let's say you have all the time. You say you have a decent amount of time to paint what you got to paint. What are you running?
I got prep. Is that what you're telling me?
You got prep. You got prep.
I got prep. I'm gonna bring Dangles.
You're gonna be Dangles. Are you gonna be the lion or nah?
Yes.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go.
So I think what I'm gonna bring for the RTT is Demons again. I'm actually really excited to play them now that I kind of understand them a little bit. The change I would make would be taking out the Changeling and adding Syl Essex or whatever her name is.
Select or whatever, yeah.
Yeah, Select She. Like that chick is insane. She is crazy. And then I drop a couple Nurglings. I'll take a blue horrors for the infiltrate to try to get Shadow pretty fast. I take a 10th, take a pink horrors, and then some flamers.
Will you take Bruce Scribes?
Take Demonettes with the character?
No,
she gives.
You don't need it. I mean, it's her whole thing is she's T6, 9 wounds, full revive on a 2-up,
She
slash
gives
and
the
melee.
unit devastating wounds on a 5, and they have 30
Bro, you
dev
take
4/1/1 demonettes. They're OC2, and they move.
Let me tell you this. You don't have points when you're taking
they're
4
+1 to
big giant
charge for
fucking
free.
dudes.
No, don't get me wrong. The upgrade for the demons is
That's-
good, but I'm pretty
yeah.
sure it's just the stick this single character out in nowhere and be like impossible to
Yeah.
kill revives on a 2-up.
So I've thought about putting her in demonettes, but you have to change the list completely. Because you just, in my opinion, don't have the points because you have to drop like pink horrors and blue horrors, which are insane to kill and super hard to kill, and you want more bodies to put on objectives, which I felt like I didn't have, and I still probably won't have as much with this one. But if you're running like Shalaxi and a couple Keepers of Secrets and then Demonettes, 100% take that. I think for this list in particular, I don't know. Maybe there might be play. I do have 10 Demonettes, so there could be a chance in the future of trying it, but it's like five ups on dev wounds, which is insane. Like, it's super crazy.
Oh, you can't take demonettes in squads of 20 anymore. They can only go to 10.
No.
Yeah, you just take...
that hurts.
That's still okay. So Demonettes, what are 30 attacks, right? And a
30
squad of 10
at 4/1/1 dev wound. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you're they have full rerolls on objectives.
Yeah,
Yeah.
On wounds.
If the enemy is on an objective.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
or
they have
reroll
full
ones
rerolls.
in general.
Yeah, so it's like
And they're OC2.
Yeah.
yeah, it's the problem is they're T3. Well, they die to a stiff breeze where blue horrors are collectively like what 15 wounds or something you have to chew through with like the brimstones popping up. So, yeah, I always a fan. I love pink horrors and blue horrors, man. Dude, they're so hard to kill. So hard to kill.
No,
Can you no longer combat squad anymore?
No, that's
Nope.
nothing. I wish.
Oh, thank God.
Well, kind of. You do it with transports, like the little buggy that Votann gets. Split the thing.
Oh yeah, because y'all can dump out like 5 guys. You
Yeah.
don't have to dump out the whole unit.
If Lewis wasn't rolling ones, then that's not my dude. Dude, that man literally was like, I roll ones all the time. It's a whole thing. And he rolled 6s on every single oppressor cannon shot those Dorns put out. Every single time I was like, Lewis, you're a liar.
Liar.
Chris, what would you run next tournament?
Well, I'm working on AdMech still.
So,
But to see what happens with the Codex. But I'm literally building Chaos Knights right now. 6
Garrett, you should apologize
Carnivores.
to Chris.
6 carnivores, 2 Morax, and 2 brigands, and then I'm taking 10 demonettes with whatever her name is.
Slaxel.
With Slassel, yeah.
Yes.
And then a demon prince with wings with Slanesh, Marcus Slanesh, because he can do precision and get assassinates and moves 14 and is almost hits as like Trajan and is almost as hard to kill as a knight. So T9, 10 wounds, 2 up, 4++, and then yeah, that's it. So
Are you gonna
demons, deep strike, and
Are you gonna get the go gadgets Katari?
yeah, the stilt. So
The
I'm gonna put like one of these on top of the legs, like with like guns sticking out of it. And I'm gonna buy one and have those tiny little legs sticking out of a Prometheum tank, and then put the gun on there and be like, oh, this is your little stilty boy.
Just like with a really round ass belly.
yeah, just a Prometheum tank on stilts, dude. It looks as silly as the stilty boy.
Man, I love the Stilty Boy. I know it's a hot take, but I think he's so funny. In
I
like,
like it too.
in like a good way.
It's just like how everybody felt about the Nerf gun, the t-shirt cannon fucking Space Marines. I love them.
hate
I think they
them.
look cool.
I
think they
hate
look cool.
them.
I dislike
despise
them so
them.
much.
I hate
so
them
bad.
because they also ruined the game for a while, but you know.
Yeah. that's like my biggest thing.
The tail end of 9th. Well, it was Dark Angels that was ruining it. It's like they stay still. Guess what? +1 to hit.
Yeah.
Oh no, it takes a lot of skill to play those though.
Hey, you know that I'll agree with. Goddamn
Yeah.
indirect desolation spam bullshit. Those are like, it's like whenever I see a guard player running like pure artillery, I'm like, that's not you.
I hate
How
that.
dare you call yourself a guard player? Where's your 100 infantry? You're charging into rhinos to clog their treads.
The leaf
That's
blower
a-
list is classic.
Clog the
though.
treads with your
Classic.
flesh.
Oh wait, what's that?
The leaf blower list is classic, man.
Well, yeah.
All artillery.
Yeah. Well, if anyone's allowed to
very
run
World
pure
War I.
artillery, if anyone's allowed to do it, it's guard. But if from a gameplay perspective, it sucks ass.
I think I hate artillery with a
Indirect
passion.
fire. Still
I know,
here,
yeah, I know.
baby.
You think it
love
shouldn't even be in the game.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
do. I feel so bad even using my Fate Weaver indirecting. I'm like, man, you can't even interact with that. It sucks.
Yeah, it's lame.
I like supplementary artillery. I like artillery so long as it has a purpose. Next tournament, I want to take guard. I really want to.
Yeah.
Take guard.
Yeah.
I really want to run that Stormlord idea I had. That
Dude, you should really come down to the RTT on the 16th because that's like a perfect thing to actually legit run like a list like that.
Maybe, but I'd have to build the Stormlord.
Yeah.
Bro, why don't you
Stormlord
just
Baneblades.
call on your saviors right here, me
No,
and Demeki?
I did it. I
No.
did it once, and I still owe you guys money.
No, I don't. So my end of year, like before I leave for Adelaide, Australia, I want to finish my Ultramarines. Like that is my sole purpose from now to January 1st. Ultramarines will be done, and like they will be on stream before I leave.
All right,
That's
but-
my
When
goal.
you say so.
Bro, you know
That's
what
my
the worst
goal.
the worst feeling is when you go to a tournament and you're like, I know exactly what changes I would make to this list and how much better it would be.
Oh yeah, 100%. I already
Yeah.
knew,
The
I knew-
whole game
well, I
is
knew
like,
that
oh
going-
shit.
like I knew that going to the tournament because I was just like I was looking at Morty and I was like, you bitch. Like I was just looking at him the whole time. Like
But
do
Papa,
Regnier says, I did good at this tournament. I was thinking about all the units I should swap out, but now I did well. I don't think I swap anything. Tor Garrett was able to pop so many vehicles all 5 games. Wait, were you running the Gladius Imperial Fists? Didn't you like come in? Yeah, you were third. Oh yeah, you were the guy next to me at the last game to my right. Yeah, you fought the Drukhari guy that I fought. Yeah, I remember that now. Okay. Yeah, your list was disgusting. That was I looked over and I was like, dude,
Yep.
I gotta start singing the praise of Inceptors.
yeah.
dude, Inceptors are insane, yeah.
Inceptors
good.
are great, dude. They are really good. It's also annoying when your like 3-inch deep strike little doodad dudes are T6, 3 wounds, 3 up save. You know, it's like it becomes really difficult. It's not like a Ripper Swarm where you just spit on it and it dies.
Yeah.
I think jump pack intercessors will be good. We'll have play too, just for backfield objectives.
Jump back. Oh, you're talking about like Space Marine ones?
Yeah,
I know
Oh, dude, they're insane. They're so insane. I
think
ran
they're
like
good,
2 of
yeah.
them in Black Templars, and they're crazy.
I think one thing that too, because I know this happened with one of my opponents, was the whole like first floor windowless. So like I think people also need to remember that when you go to a tournament, if the first floor is windowless, that doesn't mean that like it's not like ninth where you can like touch and then shoot out. Like windowless means like there's no windows. So like you either have to go to the second floor or you have to go around in order to
Yeah.
shoot.
The
Yeah,
this
I
is
had an
indoor.
opponent not understand too. Like round 5, I was like, "Wait, haven't you been playing? Like, you can't see through the bottom." Like,
Yeah.
it was really strong because it was knights and I was infantry. I'm like, "I'm sorry, but I'm
Yeah.
gonna go 1 inch back from this wall inside here, and you're not gonna be able to interact." It sucks.
Exactly.
That
yeah.
was one thing I had to I and it was something that we didn't bring up during the Drukhari game, but it was something that maybe should take into account too, maybe a bit ago, but maybe it wouldn't have mattered. But despite the fact that first floor was line of sight blocking, there were a lot of models that were taller than 1 floor, and so I didn't know if maybe the Scourges, they have those giant wings, so I was like, oh, I'm not like they probably have to go down and back out of the terrain in order to properly shoot. I think they could anyway because it's 6 inches and I think it's like a 5-inch top, so it's whatever. But I think there was a couple moments where someone would have a unit like on the terrain in the back, and I'm like, that's like a vehicle. It's this tall. I can see through the second floor. You know, like it's only the first floor that says no. So
No,
that's one of those
because
things.
it's obscuring, and for area train, your base has to be fully on the
Yep.
the base to be able to shoot through. So you can never shoot through from being behind the wall. You
Oh,
have
okay,
to-
then it didn't matter.
Even
then.
infantry,
Okay.
your whole base has to fit on to go to the second level. Like only 32 mil or smaller can even shoot through the second level
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
because your base has to fit fully.
Wait, what about flying units? Same thing?
Yep. Anything.
Demeki, were you able to fit your drones on the top of those buildings then?
Yeah.
Like their base
At
was
the very top. At the very, very top.
Oh, their
Yeah.
base was fully encapsulated.
Yeah.
On the, oh, okay. I was
Yeah,
like,
because I would
those are-
pick
those
like
were
the
thick.
corner. Because like if you pick the corner at the very, very top, it's got more room.
Wait, what's this? Here's a fun trick. I put a repulsor with 10 Hellblasters in the corner of the first floor line of sight blocking. Hellblasters then get 9 inches of movement plus advance with their 24-inch range guns. Can then threat almost across the entire board. That's actually terrifying.
It doesn't
That's
sound fun.
that's the Rhino strat. With
That sounds
CSM
incredibly
and-
unfun to deal with. No offense, but that sounds awful. That's what I can hide nothing.
No,
Yeah,
That's pretty crazy though. These
it's
there were
a
some
good board.
there were some really interesting techs at the tournament for the most part. Like the one the Jakari guy I fought the Death Guard player.
damn.
And he picked Assassinate because Death Guard player had like 8 characters. And so he just took a Rhino, put like 6 of the characters in the Rhino and reserved it for 3 turns.
hell yeah.
And that's how he
brain.
won that match. He's like, oh, how many points you score for Assassinate? 4. Like, oh yeah, that
Yeah,
makes
big
sense.
brain.
Oh my god.
That's funny.
Yeah.
There were some interesting lists there. Nonetheless, Nick with his
there's a lot of
double Lord
cool.
Skulls.
Oh my! I felt everybody was like, "Yeah, I get a free buy," and he's like, "Here's 2 fucking Lords of Skull." Those games were over so quick, dude.
Yep.
Holy
I
cow!
told Nick during the last round, I was like, "Yo, man, just give me a buy, bro. Give me a W. I'm ready to leave." Or he's like, "Nah, you're playing Votann."
Hell yeah.
I told him to match me up against one of you guys, but then it didn't happen.
Why didn't you challenge?
Oh
one
no!
of us?
Next event, I'm issuing a challenge. Damn it!
All right.
I'm issuing a challenge to somebody.
I thought
wanna
challenge
do
was a cool idea. I thought it was super fun.
I mean,
So-
when it comes to like a charity GT, you know, it's
Yeah.
Yeah. So for you, those of you who don't know, at the Dice Hammer events, you can issue a challenge during the first round and pick anyone in there, and then they get to either accept your challenge or decline.
it's not necessarily a written rule. It's just a fun thing, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Um,
thought it was kind of cool. It was only like one challenge, but it's like
Yeah.
for the most part, it's cool.
and it's game
That's-
1, so it's a crapshoot anyway.
It's a good way to get like league games in, like for if you go to an RTT too, you can
True.
challenge someone in your bracket and you tell them ahead of time so they can tailor their list for you.
Yeah,
If
I'm
you're a
gonna
gentleman,
bring I'm gonna bring a list of like nothing but las cannons, and I'm gonna be like, hey, not you, Chris, the Chaos Knights, Chris. Be like, hey, challenge. But he's gonna look at his 12 war dogs, be like, ooh,
Oh god.
tasty.
Mm,
All right.
that's a bit
Well,
cool.
Well, everybody, it's been 2.5 hours. Longer than I expected it to go, but good stuff all around. Final scores was 4-1. Demeki
4-2.
or
No, what? 3-2.
3-2.
3
Garrett
2 and 3.
2-3. Chris.
3-2.
All right. Sick ass. I don't know. I guess there's the RTT coming up down in SD on December. I'd like to go to that, but I'd like to. I'll see if I can.
It's
I'll see
only
if I
like
can build-
22 people there, so I guarantee if you just bring it and at least throw a primer on it, you'll be okay. It's 22
yeah.
people.
I'd like to try it out. I'd like to try.
I was thinking about it too. Is like you were talking about how you wanted to play a list. I was like, oh shit, this is like perfect for like those kind of lists and stuff like
you know
that. That's
what?
a test stuff.
Yeah.
It's
just
a one-day
like
event. It's a one-day
build
event.
it,
3 games. That's it.
Prime it, bring it over to my house. We'll let Roxy finger paint it. How
Oh
about that?
hell yeah!
Oh,
Finger paint a
yeah.
Bane blade.
dude.
Yeah.
Hey, Demeki, we should do that soon. We should have a barbecue at your place and like do a paint party while barbecue. We should do that'd be fun.
That would be
Yeah,
fun.
I would thoroughly enjoy that. I don't know if my
I
wife would be amused.
That's fair.
Tell her Garrett will help clean up.
She'd
I
just be
guess,
like, "What the hell are all you nerds doing in
I
the backyard?"
guess
Hey,
there's
let me, like,
painting
look at-
Warhammer models.
I guess there's one in Cyprus on the. Oh yeah, the Cyprus one from Squad Marks on the second.
Yeah.
Oh, it's on the second. Crap, I can't go to that one.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
unfortunate.
and if y'all didn't know, I am going to Adelaide. So like, if y'all know of any like places to play or like I guess influencers out there, Warhammer influencers, like let me know because like I'd love to get some games in
We
good
should-
old Australia.
We should get a hold of Adam. Adam from that does like all the Like
Oh,
the
yeah,
doctor.
yeah, yeah,
He'll
yeah.
know everything. He runs like him and his buddies run most stuff out in Australia, I think.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm excited.
Well,
And also
Can't wait
the
to see a,
oh.
I can't wait to see a huntsman spider that's bigger than my face.
yeah, that sounds horrifying. The CTC, the team
Oh, yeah,
championship,
the
March
team
9th and
championship.
10th. Yeah, the registration went open today, I believe. So
Oh, Tesh was asking me about that.
Oh yeah,
if you guys are thinking about coming,
Dice Hammer
It's
we're
team.
still a
doing-
5-man, right? It's not an
yeah,
8.
it's
Yeah,
still
a
5-man, but we're doing 210 players, so we're doubling the size.
It's the
And
one
it's
over
gonna
by
be in-
Disneyland, yeah?
Yeah, but we're gonna be in Anaheim by Disneyland. Yep.
Oh,
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
Sick.
okay.
I'm
So
down.
it's not going to be at the normal venue where we've
No,
been at.
no, it's not gonna be there.
Okay.
We got double the size there. 42 teams.
Okay.
I mean, I'd
That's
like to
good.
do
Embassy Suites,
yeah.
Anaheim.
I like to do a dice check CTC, but I don't.
Let's
We
do
don't,
that.
we don't got 5 folks. We got to pick some new people.
Well, we
I
got me, you, Garrett, Zach,
Atesh will
and
come.
yeah, we can pick up a 5th.
Oh, we'll see. We'll see what Tesh wants to do because he's got his own group. I think.
Yeah, because like we can either pick up Atesh or we can pick up Matt Green or Chris if Chris isn't. But I'm sure Chris is called for on another
Yeah,
team.
running stuff.
I have to run it, unfortunately.
Oh, never
too
mind.
much.
We can't take Chris.
Anyway, though, that's it. That's it for all of us. Garrett, you, me, Chris, you're available tomorrow.
Yep.
Sweet. The 3 of us will be running our lists tomorrow for a battle report, streamed right here as per the usual, aiming probably for around 10 to 11 a.m. Pacific time tomorrow. It'll be
Daemons versus Votann.
Daemons versus Votann, the exact same list we ran to the tournament. So you can check that out tomorrow. But until then, thank you everyone so much for watching, and we will see you all next time. Peace out.